Good evening. I would like to call the order of the Keizer City Council in regular session. It is Monday, April 20th, 2026, and ask our city recorder to please call roll.
Councilor Parsons?
Here.
Councilor Kohler?
Here.
Councilor Cross?
Here.
Mayor Clark?
Here.
Council President Starr?
Here.
Councilor Christopher?
Here.
Councilor Duran?
Here.
Youth Councilor Guptill?
Here.
Thank you very much. If you are able, I ask you to stand and all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. We're going to get started with special orders of business, and the first is the proclamation for Volunteer Recognition Month. And here with us is with our volunteer coordinating committee is Jane Herb, and she'll make her remarks, and then I will read the proclamation. Okay. Hello.
Did you want to read it first? I thought you had.
Would you like me to read it first?
Time.
I'm happy to.
Okay.
Okay. I have it right in front of me. All right, April is Volunteer Recognition Month, and that is so Keizer. So the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the city of Keizer has built a strong community through a foundation of volunteerism, and whereas upon incorporation in 1982, the motto was adopted, Pride, Spirit, and Volunteerism, which describes our way of life. And whereas many residents of this community contribute to the well-being and welfare of all our people by giving tirelessly of their time, resources, and energy. And whereas many volunteers assist the city of Keizer in performing a multitude of duties, often providing services that might otherwise be reduced or non-existent. And whereas many of our volunteers serve through city government on city council, boards, commission, and task forces. And whereas our city's greatest resource is our people, who are dedicated to the betterment of our community. And whereas the city of Keizer values each and every one of our many volunteers and wish to extend our deepest appreciation to all. Now, therefore, the Keizer City Council, assembled here in regular session, does hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Volunteer Recognition Month. Jane.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Council members, I'm Jane Herb, Keizer resident. And as the chair of the Volunteer Coordinating Committee this year, I'm honored to be here representing our committee during Volunteer Appreciation Month to offer a sincere thank you for your tireless dedication to our community. It's important to recognize that you perform these vital roles as unpaid public servants, giving freely of your own time to ensure our city's success. Your leadership and the countless hours you devote to pride, spirit, and volunteerism of Keizer are the true foundation of our community. We are grateful for your commitment to making this a place where everyone can thrive. Because of your vision, these are just a few of the recent results that make Keizer a desirable place to live. The exciting progress on the new Claggett Creek Boardwalk, the ongoing updates and maintenance of our 19 city parks. You have ensured our families have beautiful, well-maintained places to gather. Your commitment to the Sidewalk Gap program and enhanced public safety infrastructure ensures that Keizer continues to make tangible progress toward a walkable, secure community for all. By fostering development at Keizer Station while maintaining our unique local character, you've balanced modern growth with the small town feel that we cherish. Livability is defined by the community spirit you foster, whether it's through your consistent presence at untold meetings, neighborhood gatherings, or city celebrations. You lead with a servant's heart, always showing up for the people you represent without expectation of personal gain. Thank you for the late nights, the difficult decisions, and your unwavering belief in our city's future. You represent Keizer with a commitment to service that truly sets this community apart. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
And I have some small tokens of appreciation for all of you.
What I'd like to do is I'll come around, we'll make the presentation, and then we can come up here. If you want to bring those up to the city council members, okay? So you go do that. I'm gonna work my way around to the front. You know, it's all coordination.
that I miss you. All right, cool. That's your pen.
And while Jane is doing that, I want to let you know that similar presentations will be made at all of our committee meetings over this month, and if they don't meet this month and next. We have so many great committees that work so hard on behalf of the people of Keizer, and it's truly an honor and privilege to be able to say thank you to our neighbors who serve. Many of you are here tonight, as a matter of fact, to say thank you for your service to the people of Keizer.
Thanks, Jane. Thank you. Let's see if the lights go on.
So council is, Jane, and then council, if you would come together, I'll present her with the proclamation, and we all can be in the photograph.
Well, be close, like we like each other. Yeah.
I don't like any of you,
I
but
see, ditto. Right. Oh. Oh, right in the middle, yes. Down.
All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and we'll do it on 5. 4, 5.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. All right, next up, we have a Keizer Fest update from the Chamber of Commerce, and I see Dan Clem and Jeremy Turner. Come on down.
Dan gets nervous.
Yeah, he has no experience in that, right?
Good.
I'd like to introduce the president of the Keizer Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Jeremy Turner.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having us today. As you know, Keizer Fest is just around the corner. We have been working on it tirelessly for the last probably 8 months on trying to secure the one major thing that we've always wanted to bring back to Keizer Fest, and that's the carnival. So this year, with the move of all of the dirt from Keizer Station to Keizer Rapids Park, we now have some flat ground that will accommodate the rides. And so we'll have a little over 3 acres worth of rides there. We think, yeah, you're telling me. We're looking at about 10 large rides and a couple food vendor booths for fair food. One of the things that we heard last year a lot about was just family-friendly food, fair food. Because I know one thing my kid doesn't do is eat a lot of fancy stuff. So we're going to have a lot more of those options there. Let's see. So more food booths, fun activities for all ages. We will have the a Lego challenge on Sunday morning. We are also having 2 different pickleball tournaments, intermediate and competitive. I know I'm going to go blank on all the things that we have going on. And I don't want to step on Dan's toes for the stuff that he wants to talk about. But we will have 7 bands, 1 on Thursday night, 2 on Friday, and 4 on Saturday. We are also, in coordination with the fire district, we're moving the pancake breakfast to the tent for Sunday morning. And that'll happen before the worship service that starts at 10:30. And then then the Lego challenge, and then the teen talent show on Sunday. So we have a packed Sunday morning. And I forgot, 9 o'clock, there's also a 5K fun run and 2-mile walk. So Sunday's gonna be busy.
Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, that's all Sunday. we've been really slow on Sundays, and we think that with the addition of the carnival, we're going to have a lot more people there. I know last year, after speaking with Chief Russell, they only had about 500 or so people attend the pancake breakfast, where in December when when Santa's there, they have closer to 1,000. So if one of the things with the run is that we're going to have an opportunity to feed all of the runners. So every entry to the run or walk, they get a meal ticket to go and eat. So we'll be buying meals for them at there. So sign up for the run. You don't even have to go to the run. You can just go eat. So.
Other interesting aspects of, I use the wrong word, the fun aspects of what this Keizer Fest is going to be. It's going to be family fun, bigger and better than ever before. And everybody needs to go to Keizer Fest, whether it's Thursday or whether it's Sunday afternoon. We want to make sure that we build the excitement between now and then. So please spread the word. Plan to go all 4 days. With the increased acreage, we're striving hard to make sure that we don't have a parking problem, and if we do, we have a backup. And then the other thing is for safety. We're putting on more security this year, given that events should always be peaceful and safe. So I just want to reassure you of that. But two of the key items that I want to hone in on, and yes, we have sponsorships and signups still available for the 1 p.m. golf tournament on Friday. That's what this says. Please, 1 o'clock, get signed up, get your cart, get your team put together, because it's going to be a great golf tournament. It's supposed to be great weather, as well as the parade. And that is Saturday morning. We'll start lining up at 8:30, and the parade takes off at 10:30. And we've got some surprises for you in that parade. So please, feel like a kid again. Come to the parade. If you don't go golfing or do anything else, get out there and eat some of that great fair food. Just remember, close your eyes and remember, just pretend you've got an elephant ear right in front of you and you just can't wait to eat that and to follow it with a corn dog. So please come out to, and I'm sure there'll be some healthy food too, but let's have some fun. Please come and attend. Any questions?
All right, questions? So, there's also, is there going to be a pet or kids parade before the main parade this year?
Yes.
And that
Kids
starts
parade,
when?
That's right.
Okay.
Starts off at the front.
It's
so.
at 10:30. It's the very first thing, and then the parade marshal and everything else after that. Yeah.
Okay. So if kids want to get out there, especially if they have their dog on a leash that can get along with other dogs, which leaves mine out. But I know some puppies that have a lot of energy. Anyway, the pet parade will be a lot of fun for that. All right. And they can find all the information where? Your website?
KeizerFest.com has all the information. One last thing, if you haven't heard, we also have the art walk, sorry, Councilor Christopher. We also have the art walk, which will be closer to Keizer Fest this year, the grounds, so there won't be a big gap in between. And Keizer United just released their scavenger hunt, and I just got an email from Jennifer tonight, or a text letting me know that all 15 days have been filled with prizes so far, and we have probably 20 prizes, so we're gonna start doubling up. So every day we'll have at least $100 worth of gift cards or prizes to win. So you can go to KeizerQuest.com to register for that as well.
Yep, KeizerQuest.com. There's a QR code and enter to win.
I believe it starts on the 1st of May.
Yeah.
1st of May and
1st
runs
of
through
May.
the 15th, and the grand prize will be at somewhere at Keizer Fest or Keizer Rapids Park. And I think it's at least $200 or $250 worth of Dutch Brothers.
Whoa. Every teenager just went, yes, please.
We also have sponsorship still available for the tent, for the golf tournament, and the parade as well. So please, get your spot in the parade, get your banner up, and show up.
All right. And speaking of the Riverwalk Art Fair, Counselor Christopher?
How did you know? So thank you for mentioning that. That's what I was going to talk about is we've moved that up so that it's easier for folks to get to. So it's directly adjacent. You'll see there's a giant sign that's going to say Riverwalk Art Fair that we're going to hook to the fence. But it's adjacent to the fence that bifurcates the park. And last I heard, we had 48 vendors, which is up from last year, 42, which is up from the year before, 32. So it's growing every year. They're Oregon artists only. And so come out, support it. Oh, we've also got buskers, and we have Keizer Homegrown Theater who'll be doing show tunes again. Oh. And we've got a kid zone this year. So staying with family friendly. We brought out a kids zone so they can paint rocks, they can paint color pages, there's other things that are going on. So that'll be great. And let me just say, all of these additions are really great. I love the pickleball. I love that. I think you've got it really well organized. I think it sounds terrific.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and come.
We'll see. I saw Councilor Duran this week, and I told him, I think everything's going well, but it's kind of that situation where either it's going really well or I'm missing something and I just don't even know what it is yet.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, it's scaring me a little bit. We didn't mention, our presenting sponsor is SMI Property Management. It's fifth year that there's our sponsor for Keizer Fest. And then we also, I think it was last week, we announced our Grand Marshal, Matt Lawyer, who will be leading the pack for the parade.
Yeah, bravo.
It was great. We don't have to drive him down in a golf cart. He's just going to ride the first car all the way down to the end of, and then he'll help with disbandment at the end of the parade. So it's two for one. And we have a sign from last parade with Lawyer on it. So we're just going to fix that one up too for scratch out Bill's name and put Matt's. We are being fiduciarily responsible for our parade this year and taking care of everybody.
For people who are watching and don't know, Bill Lawyer is Matt Lawyer's uncle.
Yes.
So yes, they are related. All right. Any other questions? Counselor Kohler.
I understand there's a prayer breakfast or something going on too.
There is a prayer breakfast coming up. Jeremy, do you want to share about that?
Dan?
May 7th. May 7th, the mayor's prayer breakfast, right here at Keizer Event Center.
May 7th.
May 7th, 7:30 a.m. Yes, it's early.
And the invites are out on the website. Please go in and register with or without meal, and let's fill up the room and all be together.
Do you register at Keizer Fest or at Chamber?
KeizerChamber.com.
Chamber, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
And this is a chamber event, just to be really clear.
Yeah.
It's a chamber event.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? May is going to be full of a lot of good things, so plan to come and enjoy. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's start our summer off with the first festival in Oregon.
There we go. Council, what I would like to ask right now is courtesy for an elected official, and that would be for Angela Plowhead, who was with the Marion County Soil and Water Conservation District, who would like to talk to us about the Soil and Water Conservation District and move up into this portion of the agenda. Any objection? All right, I'd like to extend courtesy to Angela Plowhead. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We get pictures. This is beautiful. Yeah.
So thank you for having me this evening.
Make sure the red light's on.
Okay, there we go. So thank you for having me this evening. My name is Angela Plowhead. I am the board chair for the Marion Soil and Water Conservation District, and am here to give you an update and also just to express my appreciation and the board's appreciation for your partnership with us over the years. So the Marion Soil Water Conservation District consists, and if you can go, there we go, thank you for the next slide, consists of 5 districts, and they're broken out, as you can see here on the map. We also have 2 at-large members. Every one of our directors are elected by registered voters in Marion County, and they vote across the district. So you do not have to be in the district to elect someone. You just have to be in Marion County. And so we do have elections coming up this next year, or in 2026, and we have 5 positions that are going to be up for election. So that would be zones 1, 2, 3, and 5. We also have our at-large 2 position, which is going to be up for election. So if there's anyone that's interested, please come see me or contact the district, and we'd be happy to share more information about how to get your name on the ballot. So our district consists of the east side of the Mid-Willamette River Basin and works with both urban and rural property owners, operators, public officials, and has ongoing partnerships with over 60 state and federal agencies, as well as educational institutions and private organizations, all for the purpose of conserving natural resources across Marion County. Our mission is to partner with people in support of thriving lands, clean water, and healthy habitats. We do this through providing planning and technical assistance, as well as education. Our strategic plan, which you can see here on the left, can be found on our website, and I'll give that URL later. But we also have provided for you a copy of our annual report, which you each have in front of you, and then I've also brought some for members here in the audience today. And in that, you'll find some of the accomplishments that we've had this last fiscal year. And all of those are in conjunction with our 5-year goals, which are outlined in our strategic plan. And they serve to ensure that we are working to perform and partnership with all of those people that I listed earlier, and that those partnerships are in alignment with our mission goals, which are to inspire conservation, promote healthy soils and clean water, create healthy habitats and productive working lands, as well as to establish and maintain effective partnerships, as well as promoting organizational health. And you can see some of our grants that we do this through. In this last fiscal year, we awarded $469,390 worth of grants to a number of different organizations and programs. Through that, we have helped to plant cover crops that covered more than 850 acres. So a lot of conservation is happening through that. We had 10 projects that supported conservation education for more than 3,100 K through 12 students. And through our partner grants, which is a new program that we've started this year, we were able to partner with for 10 different projects with 8 different entities that included colleges, as well as watershed councils, cities, and nonprofits, and covered a range of projects, including education and conservation. We also interact with the public in a number of different ways through our native plant sale, which this year we sold over 8,100 native plants in our community to 310 community members. We have a lot of volunteers, so 80 volunteers that have helped with us this year. And we were able to generate over $10,000 worth of revenue from the plant sale, which helped us to raise over $6,500 for our student scholarship, which we give out to 2 different recipients that are gaining higher education in conservation. We also have 130 different Little Habitat Project enrollees. 13 of those are here in Keizer. We have 60 certified sites, and so those are placards that we give to people that have enrolled in the program and are able to accomplish the goals. And really, none of this could be done without the partnership of people like you here at the City of Keizer, as well as our other partners in Salem, Marion County, and other organizations throughout Marion County District. So in the next slide, you'll see the QR code and our URL, where people can go and find information about all of the things that we talked about today, as well as how to apply for our partnership grants or our other grants that we have. You'll also find the grant cycles, and the grants are available to individuals in both urban and rural areas, as well as to cities and other partners across Marion County. So we really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to come here and speak to you and give an update to Keizer about what we have been accomplishing with your help. And we want to thank you for your partnership.
All right, thank you so much. Counselor Christopher, you have a question?
So what are the 13 projects? Do you know them, Angela? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I don't know them.
Are you talking, here in Keizer?
Yes.
I do not. So those are going to be through individuals. So where individuals have signed up to be included in that, those partner projects.
So give me an idea of what kinds of projects you're talking about.
Yeah, so oftentimes, though, they're healthy habitats. So oftentimes there's something where people have done something in their own yard, or that maybe they have a community garden, or they have another type of area. Some of the projects we've had have been along the rivers in the various cities in our county. And so they're pretty wide ranging, but really they're working with our technical staff on developing just a healthy habitat and whatever that might look like for their area. They will work with our technical staff to define that and then to meet those goals.
So
Follow up?
So are you familiar with our Keizer Boardwalk project? That's on the Claggett wetlands, which
Yes.
was degraded and not doing anything for the habitat that was there, but also not cleaning the water, and so it was perking down. So as part of that, well, I think it was a win-win that not only is it a beautiful project, but it's going to revitalize that wetlands. And I was walking that this last weekend, and the birds are already there. The ducks were in the pond, we had geese there, there was all kinds of fauna going on. I got a lot of comments I posted some gorgeous pictures, and I got a lot of comments about, will there be bugs? Yeah. It's a wetlands, so wear your repellent, but it is gorgeous, and that walk is gonna be, it's gonna be beautiful. I just wondered if you had any part in that, or if the Marion.
The district, yes,
Yeah.
I believe the district did have something to do with that. We provide a lot of technical assistance around Marion County for many of those types of projects.
And I have one more follow-up. Who's this artist?
One more.
These are beautiful.
They are,
Actually,
yes.
this is a gorgeous publication, but we are doing utility boxes, and I want to know who this artist is.
You know, I will ask our staff.
Great. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I
Thank
know-
you for having me.
So I think a lot of people don't know about the Marion Soil and Water Conservation District. It is a local government. You are elected. It's on the ballot, just like all of us are. And it's just, I think, one of our unsung heroes when it comes to being able to create these healthy habitats and education opportunities. Any further questions?
Yeah, and I will also mention, you'll see that here at the end, there is one of the outdoor schools that we assist with. So we assist with most of the outdoor schools across Marion County.
Okay, one more question.
Okay, just one more.
Are you going to be at Soggy Day in the park?
We usually are, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Okay. All right. We will now go to committee reports. We will hear from committees, neighborhood associations, and youth liaisons. So we'll start with the West Keizer Neighborhood Association Annual Report. Actually, press pause.
Uh-oh.
Council, there are a lot of people here who want to talk about this proclamation. And I know this wasn't on the schedule, but they are here for the Vietnamese American Remembrance Day. And they would like to be able to speak. May I bring them up now
Are they going to speak as a group or?
as a group?
Oh,
Yes.
Sure.
All right. So thank you, Rhonda, for that. And I would like to invite the representatives for the Vietnamese American Remembrance Day to come forward at this time. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, please, have a seat. Yeah. You can have a seat and I can stay.
Yeah, go ahead and bring up another chair. So the microphone is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red button on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Clark and distinguished council members. My name is Thao Từ.
There you go.
It's an honor to serve as the Vietnamese community of Oregon's president. On behalf of the board, thank you so much for the proclamation in recognition of the Vietnamese American Remembrance Day, April 30. Your proclamation reached beyond a story or ceremony. It honors our people who crossed the ocean for seeking freedom and democracy in the world, in the U.S. And it also honors the sacrifice of Vietnamese, South Vietnamese soldiers and U.S. soldiers who defend for freedom and democracy in Vietnam during the time from 1955 to 1975. From our community, it's affirm our story matter, affirm our heritage, ensure and also the next generation can stand tall, that be proud of whatever you recognize today. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the proclamation tonight. And I would like to introduce Mr. Carol friend and one teacher who be a friend of us to talk a little bit. Yeah.
I got this. Yeah, thank you for having me here. My name's Carlos Grant. I'm live in Keizer here. I served in the U.S. Army, 1st Infantry Division in Vietnam. What I'm really proud of, I mean, I know we lost a lot of good men. And but I see today, that when I go to functions for the Vietnamese, I look out in the crowd and I see, I'm 80 years old and I see men, that Vietnamese that have fought. And I see they had children and the generations, and I think that what I'm most proud of is the fact that we saved at least 6 to 7 generations of people. And I got 3 great grandkids that I love to, and I look down and I look back and I wish I could have saved a lot more than. But I'm proud of Keizer for recognizing the Vietnamese community. And thank you.
My name is Jesus Montez. I was in the military for 27 years. I'm in 12 different veterans groups, 5 Native American groups, and 2 World War II groups. And everywhere I go, there's memories, including in the World War II. It gets hard at times, but we go to the nursing homes and you try to help the veterans, even the women, especially the women. And they want people to come and visit, but nobody comes and visits. It only takes a half hour just to talk to them. Just come, leave a toy or whatever. That's my thing. I collect Hot Wheels, and I've been giving toys away to different people. And that's my signature. But the thing is, with our president here, their program, this is our 5th year with them. And you have to come up and see it to believe what's going on. There's so many children there, and that's my thing. I have 20 grandchildren, 30 great-grandchildren, and 1 great one, and that's what keeps me going. But when we go up there for his program, It's an all-day thing, but it's worth every minute of it. And his mother now is a friend of mine, and I'm more a family than I am a veteran to them. And that makes me feel good, because no matter where I go, who I talk to, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're black, pink, it doesn't matter to me. You're gay, it doesn't matter. You talk to me, I will talk to you, I will help you when I can and if I can. If I don't know anything, I can't help. But I'll help anybody that I can.
He knows everything. And on behalf of the Vietnamese community of Oregon, I would like to present a certificate of appreciation to the mayor and the council's member.
Thank you. Are we applying?
The Vietnamese American Independence Day, April 30th.
It is our honor. Let's be here, if I could, and Jesus, come on up. Everyone who is here, if you will come up forward. We'll come up here. We'll have our council here as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is, I also have the proclamation from the city of Keizer for Vietnamese American Remembrance Day. And if you will, I will read it into the record at this time. Can this be heard?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the Vietnamese refugees have proudly resided in the city of Keizer, Oregon, since the conclusion of the Vietnam War on April 30, 1975. I remember that day. Whereas Vietnamese Americans have put forth their full toiling energy building the city of Keizer in a multitude of prominent areas, including industry, economy, culture, education, and military service. And whereas Vietnamese Americans have counted on the state of Oregon, USA, as being their second heart, mind, and family homeland. And whereas every year Vietnamese Americans observe Remembrance Day on April 30th to solemnly honor the 58,000 American soldiers, including 810 Oregon soldiers and more than 300,000 South Vietnamese soldiers who sacrificed their lives in the line of duty for freedom and democracy in South Vietnam from November 1st, 1955 to April 30, 1975. Now, therefore, the Keizer City Council assembled here in regular session does hereby proclaim April 30th, 2026 as Vietnamese American Remembrance Day and resolutely encourages all to join in reverent recognition of this cultural celebration.
Thank you so much for the proclamation.
Two of them? Oh, man, Adam's got to do two.
Thank you.
Okay, you put that back. Gentlemen, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you so much. How are you, Marty? Good to see you, my friend.
Remembrance Day.
Okay, we gotta go. Whoa.
I'm going to take the toys away.
See, it's always the boys. I just want you to recognize that. They never grow up. They never grow up. Oh, don't eat this. If I take this out, will you eat it?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Very special. All right. In celebration of community, let's move forward with our committee reports and let's hear from our neighborhood associations. So Rhonda, why don't you kick it off? West Keizer Neighborhood Association.
evening, Mayor, City Council, staff. My name's Rhonda Rich. I'm president of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association, and with me is,
I'm Mandy Hanson, I'm vice president.
okay, so we're here to give you the 2025 Annual Association Report. The elections were held in 2025 and there are elections in January.
Oh,
Myself,
microphone.
thank you.
Thank you.
For myself, I've been involved with the association for 20 years this year. Rob Witters, who was vice president last year, was 5 years. Carolyn Homan, who's in the audience, been secretary for 13 years. Director Art Maurer, 14 years. Carol Phipps, 7 years. Chris Adams, 5 years. She's in the audience. And Brenda Lamb, 2 years. That's 66 years of service. Kind of a fun trivia. Thank you. Last year, Gary Blake was recognized for his service to West Keizer Neighborhood Association in May. He served for 17 years and 2 years as president with the plaque and cake. Gary was known for being the caretaker of Palmacia Park.
Yeah.
And a memorial plaque, if you haven't been down to Palmacia Park lately, but there's a plaque on the bench down there. Martin Dorfler created it and put it on the bench down there in honor of Carol Dorfler's service. She was a longtime member and former WICNA president and was instrumental in preserving Palmacia Park. Our general meetings are held on the second Thursday at 7 p.m. of each month, and I'm going to kind of go through some trivia here. So for the free people who are watching, at the Keizer Event Center, except for June, July, August, and December. And thank you to City Councilor Shani Starr and Kyle Duran for coming to our meetings. We really appreciate that. And thank you to Lily Vaughn and John Hortliff. They're always wondering how our meeting's going, setting up our room, so we really appreciate that. It's a great place to meet. And I'd like to thank the speakers who gave of their time to come into our meetings, sharing information and answering questions. Chief Copeland, thank you. Mayor Clark. She disappeared? Okay. Chief Hector Blanco and Deputy Fire Marshal Anne Marie Storms, City Manager Adam Brown, Lieutenant Hine, Detroit Mayor Jim Trett, and Shane Witham, City Planning Director, and Stacy Perry, Environmental Education Coordinator. They all came and were guest speakers at our meetings last year. We had about an average of 23 attendees at our meetings. Our publicity is through our West Keizer Neighborhood Association email list, and we have 420 subscribers, and our website is on the city website, and we also are www.westkeizerna.org. We also advertise in the city of, the Chamber of Commerce online calendar. The Keizer Times does a weekly under recurring events. Thank you, Robin. And Facebook, which Carolyn Homan runs for us, and we have 429 followers there. We also publish a newsletter, which I think you all got, and I have copies in the back that we do 3 times a year. And thanks to Rob Witters, who is no longer on the board, but he offered to continue on and helping us with that, and Carolyn Homan. We have also advertised through our WICNA Little Library, and Chris Adams manages that. Our outreach is accomplished through special event activities. At Cummings Elementary School, we appreciate the teachers during Appreciation Week, which is coming up in May. Take them cookies. School grounds beautification, we do the reader board and we do pots. Carol Phipps does that, and back to school night, and Cummings Neighborhood Family Council. And we had 3 family fun events last year, January, July, and October. And those are greatly attended. The community, I've got 40 seconds left. We have the Joint Neighborhood Association meeting, the Keizer Fire Department open house, the National Night Out. We go to Keizer United meetings, our food barrels, and at Bimart and Copper Creek, Soggy Day in the Park, Trashy Tuesday, Keizer Rapids Park Annual Bird Walk, and the Big Toy Paint Project. I'd like to mention on our food barrels, we collected about 3,500 pounds of food last year that goes to our local food bank, and $1,000. So that's pretty exciting. Issues,
Go ahead and finish your
couple more
thoughts.
minutes. Okay, issues addressed by the West Keizer Neighborhood Association last year with the pedestrian flag pilot program, which we felt was successful, but that no longer exists, but that was on Chimawa Road near Keizer Rapids Park. The pavilion concept, we became involved with that last February. We shared information at our meetings in May and November, and there was a town hall. So we've been actively pursuing input from our neighborhood. Discussions with the Parks Board are ongoing and recommendations to the City Council. Speeding on Mamron Drive, we had residents come in complaining about speeding, and thanks to you, we got the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, and they appreciate that, and our neighborhood association does. Lighting schedule at Keizer Rapids Community Fields, there was an ordinance on their lighting, and we had some input on that the games are over by 9 and the lights out at 9:30, that we had a lot of testimony on that. And then special event notification, because there was a little issue with a Nike ad over Keizer Rapids Park with lights in neighborhoods, neighbors' houses. And so now we have a QR code that people can go on to sign up to get notifications of special events at the community fields. So we continue to support our neighborhood association. We'll continue this year with activities that support our purpose for existing as stated in our bylaws and our mission statement. We want to thank you for your support from the general fund budget and use of the Civic Center meeting room. We request that you extend recognition for the WICNA for the year 2026.
All right, thank you very much. All right, any questions for the Neighborhood Association? All right. Well done. Thank you so much for the hard work year over year for the West Keizer Neighborhood Association. I live in the West Keizer Neighborhood Association area, so this is close to home. With that, Council President Starr.
I move that Keizer City Council accept the report of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association and extend recognition to the West Keizer Neighborhood Association for an additional year.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council accept the report of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association and extend recognition to the West Keizer Neighborhood Association for an additional year. Is there any discussion? Councilor Christopher.
Thank you. I just want to say what an outstanding job you've done, Rhonda, and what you continue to do. And in fact, I'm sure you become a leader for the other neighborhood associations, because I think, weren't you the first? Who was the first? Southeast? Southeast, Ken Gerloff, yeah.
And Gubser, yeah.
Yeah. And so, anyway, I just wanted to thank you, because you could tell from your report, I mean, you're working all the time. You've got a full-time job, and it's the neighborhood association. And we thank you so much for that. I just wanted you to know how much I personally appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any further? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And I want to say, I couldn't do it myself. It's the whole team. Thank
The
you.
team here. All right, and I believe our youngest neighborhood association, Northwest, you're up.
Extra points for the matching outfit.
They're good on branding.
Bruce has some orange.
He refuses to wear any color but orange.
Yep, it's gotta be orange.
I should point out, we had that specially made for her, so.
Of course.
All right, Madam Mayor, Councilor President Stars, Keizer City Councils, we are the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association. As of our last association meeting, general meeting, we now have a full board of 3 officers and 4 members at large. I'd like to note that we did a minor update to our bylaws this year, which we're going to run by you all after this, immediately after this presentation. Super minor, but we want to get your approval on that to expand eligibility for board membership. And I'd like to confirm that we're in compliance with our old and our current bylaws as well. So in terms of strengthening community engagement, we have our monthly meetings here at the Keizer Event Center the third Wednesday of most months, except for breaks over the summer. We've had guest speakers from the Keizer Police Department, the City of Keizer, Keizer Times, Chamber of Commerce, Valor Mentoring, Keizer United, and Keizer Elementary this year. We have donation boxes at every meeting supporting both Simonka Place and the Keizer Food Bank. And we've had some direct neighborhood impact this year, which was great to see. So we've had residents bring up concerns about traffic, sidewalks, graffiti, budget, and city development. We had one specific example this year of some neighbors coming and identifying a missing curb cut from our neighborhood bordering Keizer Rapids Park, and we were able to, through what was then still the Traffic Safety Committee, work through getting that addressed through Public Works, and that's now on the docket to be fixed. And now we have a couple of more regular attendees for our meetings too because of that. In terms of partnerships and community programs that we've been running, we collaborated with Keizer Elementary this year with helmet fittings in community resource and bike skills events. We also collaborated with the CSOC over at Keizer Elementary, Claudia Mendoza, to help them create Mendoza's Care and Connect Closet, which is an Amazon wish list that allows Claudia to target very specific needs in Keizer Elementary. We have helped her set up the wish list. We've also been advertising it on our website and created some flyers as well, both in English and Spanish, that are distributed around the community. Right now, the distribution of those flyers is on pause pending some conversations between the Keizer Elementary and the Keizer Community Foundation, but we expect to continue doing that again soon. We've also continued our leadership of the community graffiti program, which is working with both code enforcement and the junior ROTC program over at McNary to get McNary students to help clean up graffiti all throughout our community, not just in our neighborhood association, but all throughout Keizer. We hosted a national night out in 2025, and we plan on doing that again in 2026. Our website is our main outreach, and we made some pretty vast improvements this year. We did an audit of that site and made a bunch of edits, including putting events front and center and making it easier to find things. We saw 783 users visit the site this year, 1,561 page views. That's a 56% increase in users and a 67% in page views over last year. We continue to expand our printed outreach with targeted QR codes, so we're actually able to see from those QR codes what ones are actually getting traffic and not. We helped lead some collaboration with the other neighborhood associations on creating a banner at the Keizer Community Fields and an advertisement in the Chamber's Business Guide that are both for all of the neighborhood associations. We do active postings on Facebook and Nextdoor, and we post all of our agendas and minutes on both our own website and the city website. We had approximately $3,500 in donated web and graphic design services in kind this year. Looking ahead, we want to continue our leadership of the community graffiti program. We want to continue with National Night Out participation, and we have a new initiative this year that we're actually driving over the summer. So we are going to be the very first neighborhood association to have some street art on the street in Keizer this year. That is going to be on Newburgh. We have received approval from the 4 folks at that intersection, and our next step is to talk to the Keizer Art Commission to get their approval to move forward. So Keizer will soon have some street art at an intersection on Newburgh Drive. In closing, I'd like to thank you all for your support. Not only the council, but city staff. You all are instrumental in us continuing to exist and continuing to serve the community. So thank you for that.
All right, thank you. So shall we do questions on this before we get to recognition, because the bylaws would be a separate action?
Okay.
So let's take care of this business first. Any questions or comments? Something about art, right?
Yeah. So So has it been narrowed down? Has one design been selected?
Yeah, we've selected and that's being brought to the Art Commission. so-
K-PAC? Yeah.
Yeah, we had 12
Keizer Public
submissions
Art
from
Commission.
McNary students for that, and we unanimously picked one that was
Oh, great.
absolutely amazing. And
So-
not only represents McNary, but represents Keizer as a whole.
Terrific. When, is that at our next meeting, Melissa, do you know? And when is that K-PAC meeting?
I would have come this month, but you canceled it, so it is,
Yeah, that's
planned.
what I was
I'll be there
thinking.
next month, and. I
Boy,
was just
that's in
gonna
the
come to
nick of time,
open-
isn't it?
It's gonna cut us close for the summer.
Yeah, because we've got to get that approved before school's out to round the kids up for summer. Okay, okay. Yeah, we cannot cancel that meeting. Okay, great. Happy to hear that. The other thing I just wanted to mention, the Keizer Closets. So we work with Claudia Mendoza, the Keizer Closets does. So the mission of Keizer Closets is emergency needs. So it's emergency food for kiddos for home, they can take home with them. Emergency hygiene items, we buy a lot of pull-ups. We buy a lot of soap. We buy a lot of deodorant. And the last one is emergency clothing, usually socks and shoes, sometimes a few coats, but usually it's emergency needs. Whereas Claudia has just been a fabulous partner, and she fills in all the blanks. Snacks for kids, school supplies, backpacks, anything that the Keizer Community Foundation's mission will not let them accomplish. So we work together to make sure that Keizer Elementary is taken care of. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Counselor Parsons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to commend you guys. You're doing an excellent job. This is my neighborhood association. And
No bias.
just a little biased. But, you know, Hirsch and I and Jonathan Thompson started this a few years ago, and we have grown so much and done so much with our community. And I want to just commend these guys for a great job.
Thank you.
Counselor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've got to spend a little bit of time with this neighborhood association, and I'm always impressed with the amount of sharing they're willing to do with other organizations, share their successes, how they've made things happen and work for them to help the others succeed also. I'm impressed. I'm grateful. You guys are awesome. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
All right, let's put a motion on the table. Council President Starr?
I move that Keizer City Council accept the report of the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association and extend recognition to the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association for an additional year.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council accept the report of the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association and extend recognition to the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association for an additional year. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. All right. So you have a bylaws update. Did you want to let us know what that is and bring it back for us to approve later, or do you think it's good to go? I mean,
It's super easy, so it's something that
we like easy.
you all can probably approve tonight if you approve of it. Our board already approved it, so it's the next step is you all. So it's item 5B in our bylaws, which currently reads, "The board shall be members of the association and their primary residence shall be within the boundaries of the association." We wanted to expand the possibilities of who could be on our board, especially because we actually have some businesses that are part of our neighborhood association. And we're seeing an increase of homeowners who don't necessarily live in their homes as well. So we want to make sure that there's representation fully there. So we wanted to change this to the board shall be members of the association and shall reside, own property, or operate a business within the boundaries of the association. So,
I think that's consistent with the intent, and I would not be surprised if that's also been done in some of the other neighborhood associations. So with council's permission, what I'd like to do is suspend the rules and take up the matter of the amendment to the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association bylaws.
Madam Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules to take up the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association bylaw amendment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council suspend the rules and take up the matter. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Council President Starr?
I move that Keizer City Council approve the proposed Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association bylaw amendment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council approve the proposed Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association bylaws amendment. Any discussion? I appreciate the thoughtfulness for inclusion. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. All right,
Thank you.
got it done.
I wanted to end one quick note on a happy note for you all, a follow-up from the work session that we had with the city council. So we had talked a little bit about the ADA compliance deadline that's coming up. As of today, there's been a change there. That has been extended out for a year, which means for you all, it's now extended out for 2 years. So you don't have to worry about that now until 2028.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll give more time to find the tools, as Ms. Bissett shared. For those of you who haven't listened to that work session, by the way, that was fabulously productive, meeting with all 5 neighborhood associations in an annual work session. So I was not aware, but Ms. Bissett was, that we will be having to make changes to how we post materials on our website so they are compliant with ADA requirements. So thank you for that, and we're looking for computer tools to help make those conversions rather than have to, God forbid, have to do it manually. So, but I think you're going to be helping lead the way on that with your day job. Yeah.
Thank you, Northwest Keizer.
All right, good job. All right, we now have, oh, Jesus, what's up? Yeah,
Like I was telling you about earlier,
yes.
to make people happy.
Oh,
Thank you.
He's a big match car.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't mess around.
No, I like that.
I like this. This is for off-roading. Oh, and it moves.
It does move, yes.
Okay.
Thank all of you for what you do.
Oh, thank you.
And working and talking together.
I adore him.
He's the best.
Oh, he's,
Oh, he's just going on.
yeah,
Take page 24.
thank you.
Oh, you thought I was gonna forget you, huh?
Oh, Brett's birthday.
Oh, he knows you. No.
What did he? Oh. Chief has enough cars.
My grandkids are having fun playing with this. All right.
Thank you very much. Yeah, super cute.
Yep.
Huh?
Go back.
Dan did that, not me, sorry.
No, we're playing with it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Lindsay, follow up that with Planning Commission. Thanks for being here, and thank you, Jesus. We're just going to have a good time tonight. All right, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. Planning Commission, this last meeting was it was great. It was short, so we weren't.
Microphone?
Sorry. Got it. Is it on now?
Yes, red light on?
There you go.
Okay,
There's a
perfect.
piece of paper covering it, sorry.
Yeah.
Planning Commission, we had a discussion on 2 text amendments with the code one of them was for, pertaining to childcare allowances in order to be consistent with state law. So there were two items specifically in there that we discussed, and we came to a consensus that we would amend the code to strike a couple of items in the code itself and leave it up to the definition, so that anytime the state law changed, we didn't have to continually do code amendments, which sometimes they change often. The second item that we discussed was correcting an identified error in the process for alternative design review for detached ADUs located in front yards. We quickly decided that we should amend that. Other than that, our youth liaison discussed that McNary High School had a lot of stuff going on with sports and proms coming up, which was really, they just had it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm reading notes from the other week, so. There's a symphony band and orchestra, and so she was just really excited to share all that information. Also really excited to learn about all the things that planning's doing, so that was really great. And that's about it. Any questions?
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. King? All right, well, thank you so much, and thanks for all that work to keep us up to date.
You betcha.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
And thanks, you too. Parks, Lisa and Tanya. You tag teaming?
Well, hello. We decided I'm going to come because Lisa comes pretty consistently. So I said, change of pace. And we had a pretty big meeting. So I thought we could talk about some of the themes and summarize a bit. But most of our conversation was focused on Keizer Rapids Park and that pavilion conversation. But we'll get there. So my name is Tanya Hamilton. I'm on the Parks Board.
Lisa Sajeka.
So the public input, again, strongly wants to make sure that Keizer Rapids, that they're part of the planning, which we've done over the period of time, but that was one of the things that kind of came up as a theme. The majority of our neighbors there are favoring preserving green space and then locating new structures closer to Chemawa Road. Concerns were raised regarding light pollution, traffic access, knowing that it's at the end of a dead-end street, lack of clarity on what the indoor center would be or what it would include. So that's a theme that's been consistent. Outside of that, a few community members came forward and talked a little bit about Northview Terrace Park, wanting more amenities there, specifically restrooms. There's no porta potty at that location, as well as limited access to, I think the pool has facilities, but it's private. And so that was a conversation that was pretty apparent that we probably need to have access at that park. And improve park access and trail activity through Northridge Park was another. Sorry. It says improved. Park access, I said it too. How about park access? Yes,
access to the
one. One of the things that came up that we didn't know about is that one of the access points, I believe we went on a parks tour, some time ago. Time is not my friend. And we accessed the park through the residential area between the two houses. Yes, does everybody remember when we did that?
do.
Yeah. And we walked and we saw the access point. Well, I guess there's a fence now there. And so Robert was going to be looking into why that is there. But maybe it's time that we look into access to that park, maybe connect that gorgeous trail you were talking about all the way over. I know everybody's like, what is she talking about? Turn it off. But that would be fantastic. Anything to mention on public input?
Well, just the Northridge Park and the fact that people came forward wondering if we could make that a real viable park. And if we could see what it needs, then we can make a plan to try to get, whether it's a day of service, whether it's just some big work groups getting together trying to, make a park out of that piece of land that right now is landlocked. So.
Now I'm going to shift to the indoor activity center conversation. We really wanted to distill the conversation down to kind of focusing on adding the facility back into the master plan and avoid the details, which is very hard, right? Because there's been a lot of different conversations and there was a community meeting and just different things that have been brought to the conversation. Key points that we discussed was prior board support in locating, so we discussed having it available or in Area B, where the current dog park is. Emphasis on flexibility and future uses rather than defining specifics now. And that was, again, really hard. We're trying to distill and just make some decisions. We had a strong interest in maintaining open spaces and original park intent. Discussion of relocating the dog park if needed, which, again, the dog park is definitely something that we don't want to live without, and if needed, we would relocate. General agreement to limit the total park development to 20% or less. That was very much so. We had a vote, which I'll say specifically, but that was what was discussed. Preserve large portion of the park as open space, especially the south lawn. Anything to add? No. Importance, we were talking about the importance of long-term flexibility and planning. It was brought to my attention that it costs the city quite a bit of money to change the master plan. And so really being thoughtful and intentional, but also being flexible with the plan, because it does cost a lot for us to open those conversations and make those changes. Adhering to the Keizer way, we had a lot of conversation about community engagement, huge part. I don't think this community will let us do anything without them being a part of it, yes? And we value that and we show up, as you're gonna hear tonight. And we want transparency. No backdoor conversations, no applications being submitted turning quickly, but really just being thoughtful about what we're doing and being honest. I think that was what we valued and what we discussed during the meeting. The board did recommend that the motion passed to recommend to City Council was to add the indoor activity center back into the master plan, limit development to no more than 20%, locate it in Area B, retain the dog park or relocate if allowed or necessary. And the motion passed with one opposing vote. Sorry, that's what I would say. Anything that I missed with that?
No, you did perfect.
Wonderful.
You don't need me.
Okay. Well, it's a big topic. I was like, I want to make sure I have some backup.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I know I went over time.
I'm the moral support. It's bad when I'm the moral support.
There were two other things just to think about or to know. Bob Newton Park is in process, second stage, very cool pathway, ADA access, and resurfacing of the tennis, pickleball, basketball courts. So cool, very exciting. We also had conversation about the turf field sponsorship and naming. The board recommended approval for the field sponsorship naming at the turf complex, and we all approved that. So
absolutely.
Should be coming to us.
Yes, it will be coming to you, sorry. More detail, don't ask me details, because I might not
We
be
don't
able
want
to
to
respond.
ruin.
There's two, there are two sponsors, one for each field. Because we share.
Yeah.
All right. Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm not sure who this is going to go to, but can we, going back to the North View issue,
North View or North Ridge?
North Ridge, sorry.
North Ridge, sorry, yeah.
I'm still on.
Both of them on my.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So, can we put that on the parks tour?
Yes,
We requested that.
Good idea.
Do we?
So that was the point, yes, that we added at the Parks meeting that we wanted to do that.
Right, but that's the I'm asking on behalf of council that we put it on there because I think it's important.
We can break in.
Right. We did ask for the neighbors to be aware so that when we show up on their lawn and there's a fence there, it doesn't get awkward.
Hopefully, we'll have some clarity way before then. I'm looking at Ms. Blaylock. Yes. you will make sure that we're all good to go. Okay.
Everyone's invited to the parks tour.
Yeah.
Yes.
It could be a party.
Yes, but I want to go.
Yes, safely. So, I do have a couple of questions. This is the first time I've sat in for, the Parks Board in a while. Counselor Parsons was out, so she asked me to sit in. And I know that Counselor, Christopher was doing double duty. So, I heard the conversation in the public comment, and I had a couple of questions. During the deliberation about the master plan, did anybody ever talk about the fact that only the developed portion is inside the urban growth boundary and city limits, and the rest of the park is not eligible anyway? It's on, so in 2014, the city council approved, on September 2nd, 2014, and I had to look all this up over the weekend. My memory isn't that great, but I do have data. The Keizer City Council did approve the expansion of the urban growth boundary to become one with the city limits out at that park. The city limits have been expanded in 2010, I believe, or 11, so we could purchase the Buckholz property. But that's as far as we can go. Legally, we can't go any farther because we don't own it. We lease it. So in that conversation about the 20%, did anybody mention the fact that we already are limited to that section for any development whatsoever? Because that's already in the master plan, it just wasn't stated explicitly. And maybe that needs to be said, but the map in that plan and our comp plan has that requirement already there.
Okay.
So nobody pointed out that detail on the map.
No, you're right.
Consultant to do
that?
Well, it's been around since 2014. So,
Just saying.
and so with that, I did send my observation on that to the city manager and city attorney and asked if that clarifying language could be added into the master plan, so we don't have to worry about it 20% and 20% of what, and, you know, all these sorts of things. We already have a legal limit on how far we can do anything. And the reason we wanted to expand the urban growth boundary, especially the city limit, remember we didn't want to put in more vault toilets? The only way we could do it is if we brought it into the city so we could put in the bathrooms we have by the big toy. And not another delightful vault toilet. Said no one ever. Anyway, so that was never discussed. So I believe that your recommendation, the Parks Board recommendation and the existing urban growth boundary may be consistent and may already be there and just need a clarifying statement. So I'm saying this now because a number of you have signed up to talk and, about Keizer Rapids and the recommendation. And I was gonna work more with the city staff on this, but I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna share it with y'all right now. On number 2, did anybody, mention that the map in the master plan has been misidentified, and it is actually a master plan amendment that was adopted by city council in 2014. It wasn't a concept, it was adopted. So in the Parks Master Plan, map 4-1 is actually the adopted Keizer Rapids Park Master Plan amendment. So did anybody identify that that wasn't a concept, but it was adopted?
I think it was assumed.
Okay. Let me make sure, because it's mislabeled in the report, in the master plan. But here's my last question for you. In the current master plan, did anybody bring up, it's page 108 in the master plan, that 2021 master plan, that under amenities to consider for Keizer Rapids Park, it includes the indoor recreation center. It was still there. It just wasn't on the map. But with a list of about 6 other items, it's on the list. Did anybody point that out?
I think there was some conversation, maybe not at the last meeting, but
Okay.
months prior, that it was in the master plan originally, and it was told to me, and again, I don't,
That it
this
was
isn't,
removed.
that it was removed, but then
Right.
when we were at our meeting last month, Counselor Christopher had mentioned that it was intentional, that it was removed, so I got confused by that, so that was the conversation that we had had.
It's,
Well, it's a mention.
it's in the list of amenities to consider, and some of
Consider,
those
okay, yeah.
have already been constructed. So these are ones that are approved
Yeah.
for consideration in the developed area of Keizer Rapids Park. So the location is no longer on a map because we don't know if and when, but
Right.
the list of amenities includes other things that are not on the map yet either, or they've already been done.
Yeah.
So can we take a look at that and have a conversation? Well, I'm going to go to Mr. Brown and see if that is sufficient, or if there's going to be additional conversation necessary moving forward. But I just want to make sure, I just want to ask the question, because I have not been in these meetings, and I was just curious about what was going on with that. Mr. Brown?
So, Madam Mayor and Council, the city attorney and I talked because after we had talked this morning and brought it to my attention that it was taken out of the capital project list in the back. And without it being in the capital project list, it's ineligible for system development charges.
Gotcha.
And so if the council's wishes to put that back in the plan, even though it's mentioned in the appendix there and also in section 4.1, then it probably should be added to the capital project list if it's something that in the next 10 years you might want to fund using system development charges. So.
And then a follow-up would be, it could be on the list and then figure out what and where later with public input.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That, I just was curious.
Yeah, great.
Counselor Christopher?
Thank you, Mayor. So we were told that that mention in the appendix was possible consideration, which made it didn't make it formalized. When it was removed from the CIP, or the, what did you call it? The
Capital Improvement
Yeah,
Plan.
CIP.
CIP.
Okay. When it was removed from there, then that was removing it from the I think Bill told me, but I'm not positive where, yeah, it was Bill Lawyer, who said that took it out of the master plan. So even though it's in an appendix as a consideration in the future, it isn't in the master plan. So if any time in the future, and this is what we talked, that master plan original was
2006.
2006. So we're already 20 years into that master plan. And there's lots of stuff that hasn't been accomplished yet. We, when we had that huge process we had, how many? I want to say 3 charrettes that lasted all day long.
Yeah.
We even brought in lunch, and we never do that. And when that was done 20 years ago, we didn't know which of those amenities would wash out. And as Tanya said, when we were so specific, we said we were going to build basketball courts. And when basketball courts changed to pickleball courts, we had to change the master plan. Had we said sports courts, we were money. So that's why it's better to keep the intent more vague than to specific, because pickleball didn't exist 20 years ago.
Right.
We couldn't even have put it in there. So the other thing I would say is, yes, I think the 20% aligns with the UGB, the city limits, and that's great. That gives assurance. When we first got that park, thanks to City Councilor Richard Walsh, we wouldn't even have it without Richard Walsh. He put together a puzzle like you can't believe, with the Marine Board, with Marion County, with State of Oregon, with all, it took all of that to grab that 143 acres. 143 acres. 143 acres of green space in the middle of a city. Unheard of. It was always our intent to keep it for green space. I think that's even more important now with all of the apartments that are coming online. Those folks don't have yards. They don't have anywhere to recreate with green space. So that was always the intent. But if it's that 20%, that's a nice guardrail to say here, oh, and it was always intent. You know, we've had some folks who said, why is everything in that one area? Intentional, that we didn't touch anything green. We kept everything right along Shamawa Road, so it was easy to get to, and so that it wouldn't interfere with the rest of the green and pristine park. Originally now, and this is another thing, who brought up, right now we have a dead end into the park, right? But that wasn't the plan. The plan is a loop road. There's two roads, one right in front of the private property to the west, and it's not named, is it? It doesn't have a name. It's just an access road. That access road could cut over to Walsh Way, then you've got a loop. And that dramatically increases egress, but also dramatically increases safety. All in the future, when somebody comes up with some money and some ideas.
Well, and the other part, to go with what you were saying, we had to purchase that additional land. The Buckles property
Yes.
was not part of '06, that was 2014.
Yeah.
Hence the 2014 map, and the urban growth boundary.
Yes.
We can't go any farther. We don't own it, and we don't control it, and we can't master, we can't plan anything that isn't allowed in the county. The county would have to approve it.
When
It's
she says
theirs.
leases, they're like 100-year leases.
Yeah, like for a buck.
Yeah.
They're just happy to have us take care of it.
Yeah.
If I can make one more comment, and it's
So,
more,
thank you.
it's more on approach, and I'm gonna try to say this as respectfully and very, but I do think that the rollout of how the consultants rolled it out and conversations about the chamber event really got in the way of some
Yes.
of this conversation.
Okay.
And I think that our last meeting, when it kind of got distilled down to, hey, this is master plan, future thinking, I feel like if we would have had that conversation at the community or the town hall, that would have been awesome. But now we have a lot of distrust and a lot of conversations happening, and you're gonna hear about it right after we finish up. But I feel like if we would have done that, we might not have been kind of where we're at. And I'm just wanted to say that out loud.
I think we're going
don't
to take the
disagree.
hit for a consultant that was. Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that, and that's why, thank you for listening and answering my questions. And I'm looking forward to hearing people, finish up this conversation. But I wanted to make sure that we had, all of the timeline out there for everybody to understand and to find out where the gaps of information are. So I'm hoping we can maybe clarify some of that tonight and know what questions we need to ask going forward.
Wonderful.
So thank you
all for your time.
all of your work. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good job.
Yep. All right, batting cleanup on committee reports. Robin. Community Diversity Engagement Committee. I'm trying not to play with my
Tammy
car.
Kunz, resident. Robin Barney, general manager at the Keizer Times. Thanks for having us today. Just want to give you a little bit of an update on a new event coming to town in October. That'd be October 10th. It's going to be right here, city grounds. We're going to be utilizing the Civic Center in Chalmers Jones Park. It's going to be a multicultural event where everyone in Keizer can come and learn about the different cultures that live in Keizer. We'll have vendors that will talk about their culture, educate you, talk about their religion, their politics, and answer questions that anybody would like to learn about their country. We will have food carts. We are actually partnering, in conversation, partnering with the Keizer Cultural Center so that we can use their parking lot for food trucks and have them engage also in an opportunity to show off their building culturally. And the music, the entertainment, the entire event is about learning about all the cultures in Keizer, which I've got this gentleman's name back there, and I'll be inviting the Vietnamese cultural people too.
You did say October 10th, Saturday.
Yes, October 10th, it's a Saturday.
Thank you.
So it covered the vendors will be all multicultural, that pretty much anyone who came to the 40th birthday party, you're gonna see about the same setup. Except there will be different cultures, people speaking different languages, showing off their, who they are, what their country is all about. It's going to be an opportunity for Keizer residents to learn about their next door neighbors. Find out who they are and why they are. Find out who their story is and how maybe you as a neighbor can interact with them and be part of that culture. Of course, every event comes with a cost to it. And with everything that I do, it's either sponsored or it is in trade. Given that this is going to be a city project or event, I'm going to try and covet those tax dollars, not spend any of them, and go to the community to find things in trade or small sponsorships to help fund the event itself. The CDEC committee actually would like to also sell water there, so any proceeds we get would come back to the city. We're also going to be, of course, every event requires people to help with the setup, takedown, and the event itself. So we're looking a day of about 40 different volunteers that can come as early as 8 o'clock, help us set up, and be here as late as 6 o'clock to tear down. Again, eliminating city staff from coming in to do the cleanup at that time. I'm hoping that this event will become an annual event and maybe a signature event of the city at Keizer. I'm not sure that the date will stick. It happens to be a date that was open, that we could come and utilize the grounds. Part of having it here at the city is also having our nonprofits and our city committees here teaching other cultures why we do things the way we do. Why do we have storm drains? Some countries don't have those. Why are we so involved with our recycling? Some countries don't do that. So it's a good also opportunity for them to learn about our city and what we do here. Any questions?
All right.
Of course.
Councilor Christopher.
No, it's not about art.
What? What?
But I could make it about art.
You're part of it.
How, if someone wants to donate, how are you accepting donations?
At this point, I have not got that set up with the city, but I am assuming that they would go directly to the finance committee or somebody here at the city hall to put it in an account somewhere for us.
How does that work?
That would be Marlene Parsons, and she's my representative.
Mr. Brown?
No, Shaney
Mr.
is.
Brown, how do we do that?
Well,
I know.
Oh, I see.
Madam Mayor and Council, we can work with them to figure out how to collect money. We do that pretty good.
And could we
market,
also, too good. Could we also, how do we sign up? Like, will you set up,
It's coming.
oh, it'll be on, okay.
It's coming.
Okay,
It's still under construction a little bit.
okay.
I'm grateful we're grateful to have the 7 months to get this planned. And Dawn, city recorder, she in the past has done a reach out for us. So she's educating me on that and so that we can reach out. And we plan on putting information on our website at the Keizer Times, get it out on Facebook, that we're looking for multicultural people to come and participate. And it will be a free event, not only to attend, but also to participate.
Councilor Guptill?
I'm just curious, how many different cultures do you guys have right now that you guys were thinking about putting?
Right now in the Keizer area?
Yeah, or I guess like countries, if you're doing it.
Different countries. Right now, there's about 11 that I've targeted.
Okay.
From little tiny ones to great big ones, but I'm wanting all of the people and the vendors as best possible come from the Salem Keizer area because they know this area and they know what we need to know.
Yeah, I guess it was cultures then. Like, how many different cultures do you have?
About 11.
Are you thinking? Okay, in the Keizer area.
Yes.
Awesome.
Fantastic. I just want to say thank you for continuing to work through this. I know there was a pause as we then had our work session with the Community Diversity Engagement Committee, looking at the work, the progress, and working through to get ready to move forward with this as part of the CDEC portfolio, if you will. So I know it took some extra work, but I want to appreciate that very much.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions for our Community Diversity Engagement Committee? All right, we're good. Yes.
We also have a little bit of an update with some of the other projects. This past month, we had KPAC come in and share their drain and street art and storm drain. We gathered information with the neighborhood associations to find out who's going to be partnering with what. Shortly, we'll be getting into maybe the video piece of it. And then we are going to be doing a formal recommendation for city council or staff to address the school district with bullying. And then our recruitment video is still in progress. And
We're actually going to be talking about it. I understand it's going to be walked on this evening for the video. So
perfect.
Stay tuned for that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you much. Any committee reports that we missed? Or neighborhood association? Okay, Youth Councilor Guptill, did you have a report this evening?
Kind of. Tonight is, I think, most of the Little League's first game. So I have several kids that I know that are going to be doing it, including my brother. So that's exciting for them. And I'm excited to go see the Little League's field because I haven't yet since they've done some renovations to it. So,
all right. Enjoy. They're beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much. We are now going to go to public comment. This time is provided for citizens to address the council on any matters other than those on the agenda scheduled for public hearing. We have one public hearing scheduled this evening. That is a continuation of the public hearing from the last meeting, authorizing the city manager to sign the purchase and sale agreement with John Botzer, trustee of North Pacific Trust, LLC, SM3KZR LLC, and Keizer Petroleum LLC, Keizer Station Area C1. So if you're here for that, please stand by. I do want to acknowledge for the record, before we go to the people who have signed up, we have 2 written comments. One is from Brent DeHart, President, LBD Inc., doing business as Salem Aviation for the Fly Salem grant applications, and we'll be taking that up I'll be walking that on for conversation later this evening. And from Daniel Potter, resident of Keizer, opposed to the proposed event pavilion at Keizer Rapids Park. So I want to acknowledge both of those for the record. With that, I have a number of people signed up, and I'm just going to go down the pile as I have them. First up, I have Michael Welsh. And next up after him, just so you know, will be Joseph Persem. I can't pronounce, I can't read it. I'm sorry? Okay, Persempier. All right, Michael.
Good evening, Michael Welsh, resident of Keizer. I am not going to talk about the pavilion because I think you guys will hear plenty about that tonight. I'm going to talk about a park that's near and dear to me, and that is Country Glen Park. The play structure there is desperate in need for upgrading to be ADA accessible. There's kids that can't access that park as it is right now that would love to be able to play on a play structure in our neighborhood. Through my wife's work, she goes and analyzes safety at different Head Starts around Oregon. She's got tools that she uses to measure the bark chips and the bark dust at the playground structures of Head Start playgrounds. Currently, that park would not meet any standard that she would hold Head Start communities or Head Start centers to in order to keep it safe. The last meeting, it was brought up putting a fence around that park. That's a great idea. You know, more safety layers we can have, the better. I'm in favor, and I've talked with several park moms and park parents that meet at that park on Wednesday afternoons from the Gubser school to bring their kids. They would love to see that equipment get upgraded, some swings put in place. The fields It's big, wide open green space. The boys and girls play soccer in that field. They play football in that field. They'll throw baseball around. People have taken portable disc golf baskets and just gone and thrown disc golfs. I would love to see more disc golf courses throughout Keizer. Keizer Rapids Disc Golf Course is great. I played it many times, but it's getting a little boring because you only play it so many times, right? We have directed them, they were gonna come and talk to council, but we have directed them that their efforts might be best during a budget planning meeting to talk about that park. So just to give you guys a warning, there's gonna be some very interested parties to come and talk about that one.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Welsh? All right, thank you so much. Joseph Persempier, did I pronounce it correctly? Are you here? Okay. Joseph? Yeah, okay. So I think this person, yeah. Jane Tichenall.
Hi, Jane Tichenall, resident of Keizer. I'm here to address the Keizer Rapids. Obviously, the way that this was presented to the public recently to initiate this conversation didn't necessarily play favorable to everyone, but that was the reality. Like, that meeting happened. And ultimately, I think what we want to take from this is two things. One, we want to keep Keizer Rapids Park as accessible and free as possible with as much green space as possible. And I think most of you also agree with that. And now that we have a better understanding of like the master plan and what can be put in there, we can make more, I think, conscious decisions moving forward about what it could potentially be. And, you know, I think the residents of Keizer, they really don't want to see a big event center. Like, whatever is placed there really needs to be family focused and, again, free. I know I said that before, but I really, really want Keizer Rapids Park to be a place where everyone can go. And that's important. But also, it's important that the residents of Keizer get involved. Like, these things are happening, and, you know, you guys, I know, held a town hall to get input, and there's been effort to get input, but we know that not a lot of people even knew, like, this conversation was happening, and ultimately, like, we need to meet in the middle, right? How can you guys do your jobs and make wise decisions while also encouraging the public to get involved? You know, this is a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of, and they need to have all of the information for them to even, you know, to make correct decisions for themselves. So again, this is just a call out to the public to encourage people to get involved. Even if you don't really understand exactly what's happening, that's okay. Like, it's Keizer's for all of us, and we all play a role in what it'll look like for our families now and in the future. And anyways, that's it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jane. Any questions for Ms. Tichenall? All right, next up I have Rhonda Rich. And Mandy Henson. You're both up. Okay.
Let's take a long tag team here. Rhonda Rich, and I testified at the Parks Board meeting last week concerning the pavilion for the West Keizer Neighborhood Association. And the youth liaison, Liam Stitt, wondered if the youth had any input into this. And so I said, Matt asked me back up, and I said, well, the last time that I knew was when the adventure course was discussed, the obstacle course, which is in the master plan. So I went home and thought about it then, called up Mandy, and she has her son in ROTC, and that was initiated by the ROTC. So I'm going to let Mandy talk about this.
Yeah, so the West Keizer Neighborhood Association is requesting that while the master plan is open, like Councilman Christopher was saying, is every time you open it, it costs money. So we're requesting is re-including an adventure course in the master plan. And so, as Rhonda said, McNary ROTC initially wanted it a couple of years ago. Well, since then, they have been downgraded to NDCC, and so they have less instructors. And the instructor also has to do work for the school district. So he does not have time. He cannot field a fitness team is what they initially wanted it for. So we were thinking is we bet there's other members of the community who would enjoy a fitness or adventure course. And so when going through the master plan from 2021 on page 3-14, it recommended challenge elements are appropriate for the 13-year-old to young adult ages. And one of the elements listed is a challenge course. And so also in the 2021 master plan, figure 3-9 was a survey, I think at the Keizer Fest, and the adventure course was the second highest first choice pick after the big toy. So there's potentially quite a bit of interest. So Rhonda and I went over to the new recruiting station over right by Wearmart because we knew they would know what a challenge course looks like. And so we made an appointment and we met with one officer, and as we were discussing brainstorming, he's like, let me bring my commanding officer over. They were both very excited and they would love to be able to use it for PT days on Thursdays. And so they are also talking about running it up the chain of command to see what options or resources could potentially be available. What they were able to, out of a brainstorming session, of course, not guarantee, they would potentially be able to provide collaboration with designing the course, which they know would have to be safe for the general public. And they mentioned acquiring fitness equipment for it and also providing labor. They thought that sounded great for the young recruits to maybe do a barbecue kickoff build day. So what the aspects of the course that they would love included would be extremely appropriate for cross-training for the high school sports, or CrossFit, or Ninja Warrior, or Ironman, or any general fitness. I also talked to my teenage son. He's like, well, I wouldn't mind, while chatting with a friend, like goofing around on the wall if it wasn't being used, climb it while chatting. So there's also potential for a little challenge while socializing. Some of the ideas they had was a measured track. So that would probably be the biggest issue. It does not have to be like a high school cushion type track. It could be wood chips, it could be gravel, it could be asphalt. They just need it measured so when they're doing the trainings and I can't even think of the word, but I think you know what I mean. They just need a measured length of space. And then they also mentioned like chin-up bars and climbing walls, maybe slanted so it's a little less steep and scary. Jump over logs, swing over sand pit, which is like a Tarzan type swing, rope walls, suspension bridge. And this is all included in the paperwork did it get passed around? Okay, there is some paperwork these were just brainstorming ideas.
Go ahead and finish your thought.
I'm good, because you can read the list.
Okay. All right.
So.
Okay. Counselor Christopher.
So it's already in there. It's still in the master plan.
Yes,
It's just there's no money, like usual. There's no money and there's no one who's going to head that up. But I like how you think. I think that was smart. And maybe if we could get the recruiting, all it needs is a champion. That could be West Keizer Neighborhood Association. That could be, like, you don't have enough to do, Rhonda. And that could be, but really, I think that was genius going to the recruitment center, because that's a project that potentially they could take on. And then you just start that project like anything else. They put together a plan. Here's all the things we're gonna have. We go out to neighborhood associations, we go out maybe a town hall. But I don't know of anyone that has been opposed to this, and it's already in the master plan.
Okay.
So
thought
we can
saw that-
accept money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we'd seen in the latest map, it wasn't there.
Well,
but
I think the
No, 2021.
The consultants didn't have it on the map when they were talking
That was
location.
it. Yeah.
So we just want
Never
to make sure that
again.
placeholder is
Never
there.
again, those consultants.
Yes, yes. And I did neglect to mention that we had also talked about who in the high school would be good to reach out, like maybe the sports teams again, or the coaches.
Athletic
Yeah.
director.
Yes.
Oh, activity director, for sure.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, that's who you want.
For cross-training, maybe during summer and holidays, weekends.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So it's there, so you don't
Okay.
have to worry about that.
Okay.
Now it's just a matter of who you're gonna get to spearhead that and then start raising funds. But I think the military's a really good place to start. That was freaking brilliant, yeah. Yeah, good job.
Council President.
You're the first to hear about this. We would like to go to the Parks Board too, but while you're discussing the master plan, we want to make sure that that is a placeholder, the obstacle
Yeah,
course.
okay, that's good to know.
I'm sorry.
Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Brilliant. Is it something, and I think this is just an educational question, is it something that has to be constructed like all in one, like 3-month period? Or is it something that could be like done in phases? So like if, if there's a group that wanted to fund a chunk of it, right? You could do phase 1, and then maybe there's, if we're lucky enough to have some young adults that want to do like an Eagle Scout project or something, that there might be, right? Chunks of the project that could be done with, so is it a chunkable project, or does it need to be all in?
Yeah, so kind of the gist I was getting from them is they're like track with things around it.
Okay.
So
it could
in
be
my mind,
chunkable.
that would be easily. Chunkable. Yes.
That's the
exactly.
word of the day,
There
chunkable.
was also, I'm just gonna put it out there, he just side mentioned it, is if they could put their name on it, that's where the higher ups would be more excited about resources,
We have a
so
process.
we were like, well,
We have a process.
I'm sure that's something they would love to talk about, so.
Awesome. Okay, great.
Follow up?
Thank you.
Counselor Kohler?
I defer to Youth Counselor Guptill.
Youth Counselor Guptill?
Thank you, both of you guys. I just had a couple questions. First off, would it be open to all high schoolers in the area? Because I know there are a lot of like private schoolers that don't go to school in Keizer, and then there's also a big homeschool community too. So would they also be able to be open? Would it be open to them too?
Yes, because my son overheard me talking to the recruiter on the phone, and he's like, no one's gonna go to a recruiting station and hang out. And it's like, it's not the recruiter station, they just could use it during their PT times. So I'm assuming it would be open, non-fenced, but again, that's the park planning situation. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then, well, I guess my other one was, would students be able to be able to help build it? Because I think that'd be super cool if it was mainly like, I guess, if we got students together to help fund it and build it, if this was something that they wanted to do.
Yeah, I would imagine, sure.
You kind of see it as, we see a bigger
Yes.
toy.
Yes, she's
It's
calling
the
the
bigger toy
bigger toy,
that
yes.
would be
big
open to
kid's
the whole
toy.
public.
Yes.
So I was looking up in the Parks Master Plan, page C-34 or page 148 of the PDF of the 2021 Master Plan under recommendations, and I'm not to the CIP yet, this capital improvement list, but it says bullet point number 2, says, partner to provide an adventure course and third multi-use rectangular sports field. There it is. So it's in there, but I haven't gotten to, D because for some reason this thing won't let me pop there. So I'm looking for the capital improvement list because apparently that's where it has to be listed. So I want to confirm that's on that list, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, we can do that. And I think maybe what they were getting at is that it may not have been in the materials presented by the consultant for the revision. So I think what I'm hearing is we want to make sure that's not lost in this update.
Okay.
That sound right?
Yeah, the last map
That's what
we
I was gonna
saw,
say.
it had the current plans for the sports fields. But then it was just blank where the adventure course originally was in the 2021 plan.
It's there. It's in the CIP, it's in the capital improvement list, page 176 of the document, under Keizer Rapids Park. It's in the list of add adventure course, parens, with partner. It is there.
Oh, coolio.
So, yes.
Mayor?
Yes, Counselor Christopher.
So this is evidence of think broader, think more flexible. Don't place these in a place until you have a partner and money and a plan. You know, that's what's always gets us in trouble. Cautionary tale number 2, once all of these things have been put in a master plan as potentials, that's a 20-year-old master plan. Lots of stuff that's in that master plan hasn't been built yet. Is there a time limit on good ideas? Do we just throw those out? So once those have been master planned, I hope we've learned that whether they're built or not built, we don't take them out so that we have to go through this again. It's been pretty dang painful. So I'm thrilled that I knew that was still in there.
Okay.
And I don't know I think it was placed, but
In 2014, yeah, there was a
Yeah.
general location on the 2014 adopted map.
yeah.
But it made the list in the 2021 CIP, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it may or may not go where it was planned in 2014. It may be in a different spot. I don't know.
All right.
But it's in the developed area, because that's where we develop stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Okay, cool, great.
Mr. Brown, did you have something further? No? Okay, so it's already there, so sounds like there's an opportunity for a bigger toy conversation. I like that.
Right.
Well, thank you very much, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for the advice, Lori. Sorry, I'm not used to talking in the,
You're good.
It's just neighbors, Mandy, just neighbors.
We're just figuring stuff out. Tim Hay.
Good evening, Mayor Clark and Keizer City Council. I am Tim Hay, and I'm the president of the Fly Salem Foundation, and we're a 501c3 nonprofit that's working in partnership with the Keizer, or for the Salem Chamber, Travel Salem, the City of Salem, and SEDCOR, and we're working again to restore commercial airline service to the Salem-Willamette Valley Airport. I just have a couple of updates for you, and I'm asking also for your support. Not financially, but a letter of support is what I'm asking for tonight. But we did have some meetings last week with some airlines down in California, and we do have strong interest in a couple of carriers returning back to the Salem-Willamette Valley market. Avelo, as you know, was a very successful airline that was here, even though they left because of their market conditions. They're focusing all on the East Coast now. They proved that Salem is a viable market and the Willamette Valley is a viable market for airline service. We had well over 85% load factors throughout the entire time that the service was here, and it was certainly on an uptick before they left. And it was a disappointment when they did leave, but it actually proved that Salem and the Willamette Valley can sustain air service. And we do have a couple of carriers that would like to come to Salem, but as you know, in the world of airlines, whenever they come to a market, they would like to have what's called a minimum revenue guarantee. And we've already raised about $1.5 million in that revenue guarantee, but we're actually going to apply, the City of Salem is going to apply for another small community air service development grant. And we're working on the application right now. We do have an air service consultant that we've partnered with for many years now, and we're working on that application. And we're just asking for the city of Keizer for your support in submitting a letter of support. You did do one back in 2018, and we're just asking for an updated letter with a 2026 date on it. So that's all I'm asking for. I'm here to answer any questions that I can answer for you. If you are curious about what's happening out at the airport and aviation in general, if not, I do have some samples, a sample template I can provide to you if you need to. I'll give this to Melissa.
Yep, to Ms. Bissett, yep.
And I believe you might have an electronic copy too, Mayor Clark, as well. So with that, that's all I'm asking for. It's just a letter of support.
Thank you so much. And yes, I did get the memo earlier, and I have Mr. DeHart's letter as well, as I acknowledged under a written comment. And I think, so I'm going to ask the question. I already know the answer, but there are people who are saying, well, Avello left, who else wants to come here? But you said it. It was successful here.
Yes.
Avello left the whole West Coast. So can you talk about what our Salem market looks like and why airlines are still wanting to come here?
Well, when you look at the Avello service that we had, and by the way, Avello, they had a really unique business structure. They were basically running two different airlines, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. And Avello decided to focus all of their resources, and believe it or not, they only had like 16 planes in their entire operation, and they were running multiple locations on both East and West. And when they looked at what made most financially sensible for them, they decided to focus all of their operations on the East Coast. I can say this as I've been tracking the load factors and how many people were using the Avello service. Salem was consistently in the top 10 out of the entire East and West Coast operations as far as utilization out of the Salem market. We did see a little downturn in the wintertime, and that's normal because a lot of people don't travel that much, especially after the holidays, the holiday bills and all that. But in the summertime, we were having huge load factors. Not only people leaving, but also people coming into the Salem-Keizer area in the Willamette Valley. In the little over 2 years we had them here, $35 million in economic impact was brought into this area with people coming in to visit, the wineries and the other attractions, Silver Falls State Park. Obviously, you have your biggest attraction now over here with a double-double and Keizer Station.
That's right.
Hey, I was there opening day.
So was I.
But it proved that people were utilizing it to come into Salem. And it wasn't just people going out, but people coming in. And that's what we're really trying to attract, is bringing people into this area, because this area has a lot to offer, from the vineyards and the attractions and all the activities. I was excited to hear about the cultural events you guys are going to have this fall. I mean, there's so many things here, and the airlines recognize that. And there's enough I'm answering questions.
You're good.
There's enough population here. If you look at some of the other markets out there, even Seattle, there's an airport called Payne Field, which is about 35 miles from SeaTac, that has a big operation there because people are tired of going to the big airports. They're looking for smaller airports. One of the things also that makes Salem attractive too is operational costs. I don't know if you've been to PDX lately. It is a beautiful airport. I will put that, we're not denying that at all. But that didn't come that didn't come for free. It costs the airlines money. They pay, on average $20 per person per enplanement when people, that's what PDX charges. Our operational costs are like a couple of bucks at the Salem airport. I mean, I don't quote me on that, but it's really affordable. Airlines look at that, and if they look for a way to maybe grow their market share at an affordable cost, which Salem could easily do, they would come to Salem and this area.
All right. Thank you.
So any other questions?
Councilor Christopher.
Yeah, Councilor.
So have you talked to Keizer Chamber too?
I have not, but I was happy to see Mr. Clem here tonight, and I will make sure have talked to, I haven't personally, but I will make sure we have talked to the Keizer Chamber for a letter as well.
Great. I think that would be great to get their support, and I think we would like that as a city council too, to get their
Sure.
support. I mean, I don't think we've got any reservation not to support you, but I just think that would be good to do, Mr. Hay.
Okay, thank you.
Well, especially considering Mr. Clem's background with aviation.
Yes, yeah. You know, a little side note, I actually worked for Dan Clem back years and years ago when he was at the state, and we both worked for DAS, so I've known Dan for a long time. He's a great guy.
I
Yeah.
worked for the Department of Aviation for 5 years.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my last job with the state before I retired out from state service, so, yes.
Cool.
Any other questions for Mr. Hay? So what I'd like to do at this point is to suspend the rules, take up the matter of authorizing us to issue a letter of support for the SCASD grant.
I move the Keizer City Council suspend the rules to take up the matter of a letter of support.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council suspend the rules, take up the matter of issuing a letter of support for the SCASD grant. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Council President Starr, do you want to do that?
Yep. I move that the Keizer City Council authorize the writing of a letter of support for the Small Community Air Service Development Grant proposal being submitted by the Salem-Willamette Valley Airport.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council, thank you, right there, authorize the submission of a letter of support for the Small Community Air Service Development, SCASD grant proposal being submitted by the Salem-Willamette Valley Airport. Any discussion? Councilor Cross.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say thank you so much for all your hard work. You know, I've worked in tourism for the last 25 years and closely with Angie and Joey, and I see what conferences that we lose because of not having an airport here in Salem. So I know what a huge help that will be when we get that service back. So thank you, and thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously.
All right.
And I'll work with the city manager to get that letter to you.
All right, sounds great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, that is all I have on the other public comment this evening. Did I miss anybody?
You've cleared the room.
Nope. All right, the time is 8:10. We are going to take a 10-minute break. We are in recess. Okay, Siri.
No, mine? Oh, mine does.
I'd like to reconvene the Keizer City Council. We are going to proceed with our agenda to the consent calendar. Council President Starr, would you please read the items on tonight's consent calendar?
Our consent calendar for Monday, April 20th, 2026 reads, Item A, approval of the March 30th, 2026 work session minutes. Item B, approval of the April 6th, 2026 regular session minutes. And item C, approval of the April 13th, 2026 work session minutes. Item D, resolution authorizing disposition of unclaimed found personal property.
Thank you. I'd like to pull B and C, please. Are there any other polls?
I'd like to pull D.
All right, let's start with A, and we'll work our way down the list.
I move that we approve the consent calendar consisting of item A, approval of the March 30th, 2026 work session
Second.
minutes.
It's moved and seconded to approve the March 30th, 2026 work section minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Item B, I have one minor correction. On the proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month, I want to add that the proclamation was also issued to Eva Pignotti, the Chief Program Officer of Early Learning and Child Care at the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency. She wasn't a presenter, but she was introduced. So with that correction, I would ask for approval.
I move that we approve the April 6th, 2026 regular session minutes with corrections.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the April 6, 2026 regular session minutes as corrected. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Item 7C for April 13th. This is checking my memory. So on page 3 of the work session minutes regarding Budget Committee preference, it says that the Budget Committee wanted the joint budget for marketing, but anyway, what it says there, I think the Budget Committee did not want a joint budget for marketing, but wanted to keep it separate. And I think it got written the other way around. So, did I remember that correctly?
I think so.
I
think we didn't want to keep combining.
Right. So in our, I think that's what happened in the work set in the Budget Committee last year. We had talked about doing it together, and then we got to budget, and the Budget Committee said, I don't think so, and anyway. So, I'd like to, Ms. Bissett, do you want to check that, that one, or shall we go ahead and pass it with that, adjustment?
However you'd like to handle it, Mayor.
Okay. So, with that, I'd like to, recommend that we, approve the April 13, 2026 work session minutes with the correction that it states that the Budget Committee did not want the joint budget for marketing, but wanted to keep it in the individual neighborhood association budgets.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Okay. I did remember correctly. Thank you.
Yeah.
I move that we approve the April 13th, 2026 work session minutes with corrections.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the April 13, 2026 work session minutes with correction. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Councilor Cross. Item D.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Brown, three questions on this. So it says that the city and state does not have any procedures for this. Is that correct?
Well, other than the procedure that's laid out in front of you, that it requires this procedure that it go declared
Just
unclaimed.
declared into storage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do other cities do?
My assumption is the same thing, but I'm
Like,
not positive. I'd have to ask Mr. Wood.
Have we looked into any other cities?
I'd have to ask Mr. Wood about this because this is his item. But if we want to pull that and wait it till the next one, so we have some.
Let's do, that was my question.
Let me get all your questions.
Okay. So that was my question, is what other cities are doing on this? And then 2, it says 6 months, anything prior to October 31st. Well, that's not even 6 months, that's like 5 months,
Well, end of April will be fine.
right? And then my last question is, anything 6 months, is how, are we notifying those people? Are we giving them a 30-day, like, hey, your stuff's going to be thrown away? Because right here, it says, staff believes that none of the property stored staff is recommending the council authorize disposal of any unclaimed found personal property. The thought is that items left over 6 months that the owners are likely not looking for anymore.
They're
That's
abandoned,
they're abandoned, basically, but
Madam Mayor.
I think if we're being thoughtful, that we might want, that there should be some language that we give them a 30-day notice.
Well, if I knew who they were, it wouldn't be lost.
This is lost and found. So this
We don't
is.
know the owners.
Yeah, we don't, this is stuff that we
So
can't
this
even
is-
identify. We just have such a pile of lost and found stuff.
From 2018.
Yeah, because there is no
That's what it says here.
procedure to get rid of it. And I assume some places,
So
because
else
there
is
isn't
just
one,
lost and
probably just
found.
do.
That's
their own
right,
rubber,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's just lost and found. Water bottles, sometimes glasses, which,
Okay, I guess I was confused
I wish I
because
could find my
personal
glasses.
property, it's not unidentified. Personal
Yeah.
property to me sounds like
yeah.
there's a name for it.
yeah, I can see how that would confuse somebody.
And Counselor Cross, just so you know, yeah, if
So
there
if it
is
said
any
John
property
Doe
that we.
property, I probably would have understood it better.
I'll make a
If
note
there is
next
any
time.
property that we have either grabbed, say from a camp, or say there's property that we can't identify who owns it, we make sure to hold it for them and try to get them back with the owner. This is literally, a coat in the park, gets thrown into lost and found, and then we
Well,
don't.
then I'm fine with approving it. I don't need to wait.
Counselor Christopher?
I am too, with that explanation, but I was wondering, could we put a disclaimer on the website that says if you're, I don't know that people know we have a lost and found, or how to even access that.
We can have our website team look at that
Just
and
put a
see what
statement that
there's.
said, lost and found, here's how to contact us.
Check with us soon, because this is going away.
We're not, we are not your parents.
Like that, no, you have to be a little more professional.
We're not your parents' basement, so get it, come and get it. Counselor Cross?
And if it's something that we can donate to one of our nonprofits that's usable, that we're doing our due diligence with that.
Yeah. Good comment.
That's a great
yeah.
idea.
Okay. But not spend a whole lot of time sorting it out.
Yeah.
And just for the record, so people know, we're talking about things that unclaimed, this is unclaimed property with a value under $250. If it's over $250, there is a state law on how that has to be handled. So this is different. Okay. Any further questions? Council President Starr?
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R2026, authorizing the disposition of unclaimed found personal property.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2026, authorizing disposition of unclaimed found personal property. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Let's go to our one public hearing this evening. Open the public hearing, and this is, let me go by my right page here. There we go. This is to continue the public hearing that was opened at our prior meeting on April 6th. And yeah, so I've continued the public hearing, and I'm now going to go to the city manager for a staff update.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. This public hearing was open last week. It is to sell the property we refer to as the Large Triangle, but for most of the citizens here would recognize it as the parcel between Shamawa, Lock Haven, and McLeod. We own about half of that, a little over half of it, and the other two parcels are owned, one by trustee, John Bosser, trustee of the North Pacific Trust, and then SM3 KZR, LLC, which is also Mr. Botzer is the signer for that. Us three owners are selling to one owner, being Keizer Petroleum LLC. You would recognize them as the U.S. Markets convenience store. And some stores, they have just convenience stores, some have gas. This one would have gasoline, and more of these are framing themselves as energy stations too, because they're adding electric infrastructure at the same time they're putting in petroleum stanchions. So we ended up keeping this public hearing open because the buyer wanted to restructure the sale. We had originally, there are some expectations of the developer that they have to repay reimbursements to the developer across the street where Bonaventure is and the other apartments are built. So there's a repayment of what the infrastructure that they put in with interest now is around $619,000. And then they owe about $14,000, I think, to the water tower reimbursement, and then $62,000 for off-site transportation improvements. Or I may have gotten those back switched, but those are the three items that include it. So the original letter of intent, we had said the purchase price was going to be $4.6 million. We had started out with those encumbrances included in the original price contract around $5.2 million. And we said, let's drop the price to 4.6 and then you have to pay for those. On second reading, the buyer asked us to put that in the total purchase price and create an escrow for them. So at the time of development, they will put those, or purchase, they'll put those money aside in an escrow until the permit is required, at which time the developer gets repaid. And the other two monies would come then to the city at that time. So the restructure and the version that's in here that's signed by Mr. Botzer and Mr. Sidhu is the 5.2 million with those encumbrances built in as amounts that will be escrowed at the time of purchase. So that is the reason we had to extend it 1 week. We had conversations with Mr. Sidhu today and with Mr. Moyer helping out with this, and all parties are ready to proceed to this purchase and sale agreement. So exciting moment, something we worked on for a long time.
All right. Thank you very much, Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Brown, and I think you might have said this, but I missed it. Kind of what's the estimated timeline that we'll see the revenue from the sale?
So the sale will go to closing at the time the permits. That's what they're targeting for. We put in there 120 days. It's very aggressive because there is a master plan amendment that needs to be approved. Fortunately, there's not a legislative change like we had on other properties, but just the master plan approval. So that 120 days is really to push the city. It doesn't, if the city process is holding it up at all, we're not going to punish the buyer at all for that. But he and his company are very anxious to get something built. So they're very motivated, and I hope it does happen in the 120 days. If it doesn't happen in 120 days, it'll be because our meetings didn't align just right to fit all those in.
So it's safe to say between 4 and 6 months.
Yep, I think that's.
Thank you. From the date
our
that
goal.
it's signed,
Mhm.
right? This goes through.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions So inquiring minds are gonna want to know, when do those 3 derelict properties come down?
Yeah.
As soon as the due diligence, I think, on their part, so they'll start with environmental testing on the grounds, they have like a 30-day window for that. They'll want to get that done. A big part of it is the traffic impact analysis, and that's number 1 on their priority list of things to get done. And I think once, they're at that point where, again, they want to get something built. So as soon as we close, they're going to be at that permitting phase. So it could be within that 4 to 6 months. There's one house that still has to be abated, that they're, Mr. Botzer's house. So not the green one, not the one in the middle.
So
but
what was the
one-
timeline? I've lost
120 days.
to get rid of those houses?
That's the goal.
Okay.
Is once they get permits and they want to get stuff going.
So permits, and then they clear the land.
We're looking late summer, fall.
Okay.
Yep.
Still have a bonfire.
Yeah, no, hope not. Okay, any other questions? So the hearing is still open. Is there anyone here who would like to address the council on this public hearing? Ms. Kunz.
Tammy Kunz, still resident of Keizer. Greater Northeast Keizer Neighborhood Association has reached out to several of the people in the community, and they are all for it. I was told to tell Shane, take them down now. But no, we're all for it. We provide support. If you need that in writing, Shane, let me know.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to address the council under this public hearing? All right, seeing none. Council members, do you need any additional information before I close the public hearing? All right, the public hearing is now closed. Council President Starr.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R2026, authorizing the city manager to sign the purchase and sale agreement with John E. Batzer, trustee of the North Pacific Trust, SM3 KZR LLC, and Keizer Petroleum LLC for Keizer Station Area C1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2026, authorizing the city manager to sign purchase and sale agreement with John E. Batzer, trustee of the North Pacific Trust, SM3 KZR LLC, and Keizer Petroleum LLC, Keizer Station Area C-1. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Get her done.
Opposed, signify by saying no.
Serious.
Motion happily passes unanimously.
Yes, it does.
All right, let's get that moving. Administrative action this evening, item 9A, resolution authorizing chief of police to enter into intergovernmental agreements with Salem Keizer School District 24J, safety and support response team officer and youth safety and support officer. City manager?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to hand this off to Chief Copeland.
Thank you.
Thank you, City
Chief.
Manager Brown. Madam Mayor, City Councilors, this agreement is before you because it's a significant amount of money, which is over $50,000, and it's a 5-year contract. We've been operating under the previous or the current contract for the last 5 years as well. That was signed back in 2021. Basically, what this is it's 2 detectives and a supervisor, a half-time supervisor that this contract covers. And that is support and threat assessment and type of security, just answers questions for the entire school district, which is all of Salem, Marion County, and Keizer. I guess not all of Keizer or Marion County, but the Salem Keizer School District, which happens to bleed over into Marion County. This is a phenomenal contract that we started back in the day, right out of COVID, when school resource officers were the traditional school resource officers. It was removed from the schools. And there was a lot of conversations as to what to do next. There was no way we were going to get officers back in the schools. Where the school board was, their conversations were going, we're still not in that position. This is the next best thing that we can do. Salem has turned this down. Marion County has turned this down. We're the only agency around that has something like this in place. So this has worked really, really well for us. To the point where the Salem Keizer School District reached back out to us, wanting to renew the contract. The question was asked and has been asked, how are we saving money to the city? Well, over the next 5 years, this is worth $2.8 million minimum. Every year, it's a 4% increase starting in July of 2027. So the wages or the contract will go up by this agreement 4%, and that doesn't cover the overtime costs. So any overtime costs goes back to the school district. We also in this contract for the next 5 years, we're able to get their gas covered. As we know, gas prices went way up. We're like, wow, we're paying a lot of money for gas. School district, they're driving to and from your meetings, can you pay for the gas? So we have that in this contract, and then each officer or detective is covered up to $2,500 a month for overtime. So the contract covers $280-ish thousand a year for each of our detectives, for each of these different contracts, which I guess there's two, one for the SSRT and one for the YSSO, and they're good until 5 years from July 1. So there's a 1 year opt-out. So if anybody decides it's not working out and they don't want to do it anymore, we have 1 year fully paid, and then we have to decide what we're going to do from there. So again, this is before you, and you need to solidify this based on the dollar amount and the 5 year contract. We, as a staff, highly recommend that we renew this. It's very good for us, and it keeps us with 2.5 sworn positions that the city of Keizer does not have to pay for.
Not to mention it's good for our students.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of conversations, and I know that Salem and Marion County aren't here to defend themselves, but they have a lot of reasons why they're not doing it. A lot of it's personnel. They just don't have the personnel to figure it out. We figured it out 5 years ago, and we're still in that position where it's one of these things that's so important that to the youth in our community, that if you don't have a detective, a full-time detective to some of these cases, there's going to be some things that are missed. So, yeah, this is very good for us and for the school district.
All right, thank you. Council President Starr, question?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chief Copeland, you mentioned a 4% escalator per year. What happens if between like the salary increases and the increase in benefits or the PERS rates, that exceeds the 4%?
I'm going to have to go to Tim Wood for the official answer, which may be a little bit smarter, but the city will have to, I'm assuming the city will have to incur that small cost, whatever it is, of above the 4%. So if we ended up with a 5% contract with the KPA through negotiations, that 1% we would be responsible for.
Yeah, I'm more worried like about our PERS rates and our insurance, that we're not going to recover that cost.
Yeah, and I think as part of this contract, when we give them the numbers, like what it's going to cost us, I know that Tim Wood is very involved in that, and he projects out those PERS costs. So this would be, I wish he was sitting over there. He's not.
I think my worry is we don't know what those increases are for medical and dental and our benefit, things like that. Yeah. And that's the thing that causes me a little bit of heartburn, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown?
Yeah, Madam Mayor and Council President and Council, it's an astute question, and it's 4% over everything. So while if our insurance may go up 5 or 6%, we might make that up on some of the wages that may not be 4%, or the PERS is probably the biggest one to be afraid of. Again, astutely aware of that. And particularly with the piling on of the repayment of the 20 years. But I think the chief's assessment is right. We're kind of locked in at a 4%. And the hope is that over that contract year period, that we average to break even. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chief Copeland, thank you for your work on this. Is this something that was really started by Chief Teague, and it's just a continuation of that.
Correct, yeah, Chief Teague, and it was really Lieutenant Nelson was pretty heavily involved in this contract as well. And thanks to Chris Baldridge with the school district, he was heavily involved in this contract as well, so
Thank you.
good work.
Any further questions? Council President Starr, would you put the motion on the table?
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R2026, authorizing the Chief of Police to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Salem Keizer School District 24J for the Safety and Support Response Team Officer and the Youth Safety and Support Officer.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2026, authorizing Chief of Police to enter into intergovernmental agreements with Salem Keizer School District 24J, Safety and Support Response Team Officer and Youth Safety and Support Officer. Discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. That concludes administrative action. Let's go to other business. This time is provided to allow the mayor, city council members, or staff an opportunity to bring new or old matters before the council that are not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Brown, does staff have an item this evening?
The staff does not.
So
We are aware of the ones that council wants to bring forward, though.
Okay. Let me go back to my list.
So,
You have it? Okay.
you got it, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 on the list.
One's already gotten taken care of, and that was Fly Salem.
Right.
So
But
that
now
was
we
on my
have
list.
the DMO, if Dan comes. from
Yeah,
the
so-
Keizer Chamber.
The legislative,
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the legislative. This was sent to you all earlier today. There was a call to action from the League of Oregon Cities. This is in regards to HR 2289, the American Broadband Deployment Act. And this goes to the issues that we have been concerned about and have discussed here earlier regarding the possible preemption of local control over the management of our rights of way for telecom. So it is, the League of Oregon Cities is asking cities to issue letters to oppose HR 2289. I wanted to bring it before you tonight. Mr. Lindsay was apprised that I might do this, so if you have questions for him that I can't answer, which is probably most of them, be able to bring that forward. Mr. Lindsay?
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. So what was attached originally was the League of Oregon Cities went ahead and retained outside counsel Nancy Werner to make comments during their request for, or their inquiry. And so that was having to do with the rulemaking at the FCC. This new thing is actual bill in front of Congress. And so these arguments in here, I think, were pretty persuasive. Unfortunately, instead of just going, you're right, we can't do that at the FCC level, it appears now as if just Congress has a bill in front of it. So it will change what the law is. And so I think it is important for us to write our legislators and say, we want to have local control over our rights of way. One of the central pieces of it is they want to limit the amount of money we can make to cost recovery only. And in Oregon, we have, the law lets us control our rights of way with franchises. And so it isn't a cost recovery model only, we get up to 7%. And so that's not saying like it's going to cost us 7% for doing this. It's actually just a way in which we've sort of contracted out with companies. Think of it almost like rent to be in the ground. And because we have to, manage that, administer it and regulate it and police it and all of those things. So they're really trying to look at, can we just put a cost on it? Like, it's only going to cost you to look at our paperwork, so we're only going to pay you this. And so it could actually have a lot of severe limiting factors on the amount of money that we can make from our rights of way. And so I think it is important to at least have a letter out there that says, yeah, we're against this.
Further questions on this one? So I'd like to, motion to suspend rule, take up the matter to authorize the mayor to sign a letter to our congressional delegation on this matter.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules to take up the matter of the letter to Congress.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules, take up the matter of issuing a letter to Congress. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. President Starr.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to move that the Keizer City Council authorize a letter to our congressional delegation regarding this recent request from the League of Oregon Cities.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council authorize a letter to be sent to our congressional delegation in response to the call from the League of Oregon Cities on HR 2289. Opposition. So is that a fair restatement?
That's fair.
Okay. Questions, comments? Councilor Christopher?
Could we include, you have all of our signatures, right? So you could just add all of our signatures. I would like to show unanimous support for this and by having everybody's name listed. I don't know if it's gonna make any difference. I don't know if it's gonna be stronger. I know in the Oregon legislature, if we could put every individual's name, I think that it garnered more attention and more support. That's all I'm asking.
Can't hurt.
That's what I think. It's chicken soup.
Yeah. So, this would be without objection from anybody to have the signature included.
Correct.
Individual signatures.
Individual signatures, all 7 of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the question is, does she have all those?
Yes, we signed the Christmas card.
Yeah.
Ms. Bissett, do you have our electronic signatures?
Yes, we can probably get them from the Christmas card.
Get them off the Christmas card. There we go. Merry Christmas, Congress.
Merry Christmas.
We object. All right. Anything further? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. All right. Okay. All right. Took care of Fly Salem. So the video, want to go to the video script? Do we need to do?
Yes.
So question, Mr. Brown, do we need to do, a letter of support for the Keizer Chamber for the Travel Salem DMO grant? As you and I discussed this morning.
Yes, thank you for remembering that one.
Wait, didn't we already?
No.
Travel Salem is, we'll be submitting for a grant to Marion County. It's a new grant where they've got an allotment for, aimed at tourism marketing for DMO. There's about $300,000 over 3 years in that pot of money. There's another pot of money, and these are grants from Marion County Economic Development. So kudos to Marion County for sharing these opportunities, making these available. There's another trench of money that is for North Marion County, kind of the Woodburn area. And then there's a smaller amount of $50,000 that anybody can apply for. The city actually could apply in the $50,000 trench, but that can be broke up in as many different ways. And then, but we could also apply for the $300,000, but it was a little bit short notice to figure out how we use that for tourism. Travel Salem is requesting support for their application, and the Chamber of Commerce is also supporting it. So.
But if we apply for it,
Wait, what?
No, this is for, supporting the application from Keizer Chamber for a grant.
No, they are
No.
not going to be going after.
They're not.
A grant, yeah,
So
yeah.
this is for the Travel Salem application
Yes.
for our DMO services.
Yeah, he let me know today that they weren't going to be going
No,
after
I'm
that.
sorry. DMO is Destination Management Organization.
So the chamber's not applying for it?
Keizer Chamber's not?
No, they're
Okay.
not.
All right.
I have a question.
Yeah, Counselor Cross.
When is this grant application due?
April 30th, so 10 days.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, but how much could we apply for as a city?
yeah.
So
Isn't that like 15 or 20 grand?
No, he said 350.
300,000
Well,
over a 3-year
I could
period.
help come up with something for the city if we need to.
And I could help her help you.
Like, we're leaving money on the table? I'm sorry, I adore you,
Mr. Brown, but leaving money on the table, and I love our friends at Travel Salem, but that just sounds ridiculous to me.
Are we competing with Travel Salem if we apply for that?
Yes,
I'm okay with that
Okay.
too.
but, so,
Lisa, you want to work on something for the parks?
so here's the one that I would still, that I've been contemplating
Yes.
applying for, and that is I've talked to many of you about the fryer that we'd like to get in out at the Major League, or the Keizer Little League Park. I think we would benefit from about $10,000 to add to the remaining we have left from that other pot of money, out of that $50,000 pot. So the $300,000 pot, again, this was like 3-week timeframe, 4-week timeframe, and it's at the same time we're working on this program with our hotels.
Yes.
And trying to kind of invest our time in that. So that's where my thinking is on it.
Follow up?
So I'm just, and I've been in those meetings that we're working with Travel Salem again and again. I love all of our people at Travel Salem, Andy, and with, love them again. And I would call her after this meeting, just say, love you, but no, I want to keep the money in Keizer.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So, yeah, no, I mean, I, just from the top of my head, no. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, but we got to figure out, and dang quick, if we're going to go after that and what we're going to go after it for. If that's what we're going to ask staff to do, we've got 10 days.
Mr. Brown, what is the feasibility of issuing a grant for the $10,000 for the fryer at Keizer Little League Park?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think I can do that without, needing your support. If we're going to support another organization, that's why it's in front of you today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Council President Starr, and then back to you.
So I just want to make sure I understand. We've got an opportunity.
Wait.
We all just woke up.
This is going to be good.
We've got an opportunity to apply for $350,000 or a portion, 300,000, whatever, or a portion of it that could be used because our local chamber is not applying for it to do marketing services and.
Oh, I see where you're going. I just picked up what you put down.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Tell me, please.
How do we pick that up if they're not going to apply for it and get that money in Keizer for us to do marketing for our Little League fields, for our turf fields, for
Parades, the money we put out for both parades, why couldn't we apply for that in a combined tourism package?
I mean, what I heard here tonight is you have Counselor Cross offering to help. You had Counselor Christopher offering to help.
I'll just.
You,
We volunteered,
I will.
we volunteered Lisa.
I will offer to help. It causes me great heartburn that our own DMO in Keizer is not applying for any of this money, but that's.
And we give them money.
But that's fine. They have, they're.
Yes.
okay.
They're rebuilding, right? I understand that. I think that we need to step in and figure out a way to help fill the gap, if you will, and come alongside. They've got a lot on their plates right now with Keizer Fest. They just brought in their new ED. They're rebuilding. They've got a lot going on. I think we need to step in and figure out a way to do that. That's a lot of money to leave on the table.
Yes, it is.
It is, and were that we had the resources to put to that, it would be a lot easier to go after that. But when you're talking about resource, I mean, it's me. I don't have anybody else.
I heard you've got 3 people that have just offered to help put that together.
Okay,
And we've all got grant
I'll
writing
take you at your word.
experience.
I'm just,
I'll take you up on it. Then.
So I mean, what I'm thinking is we put out in our general fund and in our tot taxes, we put out all that expense for both of those parades. Why couldn't we ask for reimbursement of that? That brings, what, 40,000 people into our community twice a year. In addition to that, Keizer Fest, what does it cost the city of Keizer for Keizer Fest? I think all of those, so all of those combined into helping us pay for all of these events that take place in our city.
the Miracle of Lights.
Miracle of Lights.
And I don't
That's the
know,
thing.
I mean, we can ask, but I don't know that they're looking to fund things that we're already doing.
Well, what are they looking to fund?
They're looking for promotion of tourism in this area.
But that is
What,
tourism.
I mean, 50, Little League fields.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
how much
lights-
tourism do you want? Because we've got it.
The Little League Fields is the one, place I think where we could invest. And when you're talking about heads in beds, the other things that we do don't put heads in beds. Keizer Fest. People don't stay at the Holiday Inn for Keizer Fest.
So-
Um,
I'm gonna go Counselor Cross, and then I think we'll turn it over to the people who are gonna write this grant to get it in.
I like the Little League idea.
I do too. Counselor Cross.
I think we brought in this management group we have the baseball field management group that is completely professional on doing this. They came, they presented to us. They are the heads in beds.
Yes.
I guarantee it.
Yep.
With the amount of money that we're paying for them per month, we could get that money. We could call them, they have that field. They could write the grant for us, I promise you. If we said we have this opportunity,
Yeah.
that's what they do.
It is, and I talked to them about it, and they were interested in it, so.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I
We can-
promise you.
And we've got a
if we
brand new
call- if
hotel
we
that's
call
opening
them
up.
There's no way that this new Marriott's, and we call them, they're not gonna be like gung ho. Yes, we are going to help you write a grant. That's occupancy right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the angle. The angle is KLL, and that's all brand new. That's all that new management team. That's it.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I mean, you're gonna have to, so.
It's a lot of brainer for writing the grant.
And I think what you're saying, you're hearing the city council say, it's a 10-day, I get it. You've got too much on your plate. But we were unaware of this, I was till
I was too.
tonight.
Yeah.
So we're saying clear schedule. Let's apply for 300,000.
And
I don't know about that.
I don't know the number, but I do believe that it was either 15 or 20 grand when Corey was the executive director of Keizer Chamber, and they used it for the Keizer Leadership Program. If they got 15 or 20 grand for the Keizer Leadership Program for that destination from TOT, you can't tell me for Little League fields that brings kids for 2-day tournaments and whatnot.
Yeah.
That fields heads and beds, that is not a more compelling story.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. All right. Make it so. Oh, yes, Counselor.
I move to suspend the rules to take up the issue of directing staff to write
do we
the
need-
grant. Do we need to do that? Coach Lindsay saved me.
Or
It's
do we-
9:05.
If
can
you
go
want
by
to order
consensus.
something, you can make that motion, but we should suspend the rules because it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to continue on suspending the rules to take up the issue of applying for this DMO grant.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to suspend the rule, take up the matter of applying for this grant. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. You're like, yes, please.
So
All right.
I move that the Keizer City Council directs staff to work with the identified city councilors that are willing to help put this grant together from the, for the DMO grant from Marion County.
Second, whatever she said.
And don't ask me to repeat it.
Point of clarification, is this a DMO grant specifically, or is it their economic grant?
Economic grant.
So rephrase, to point,
A point of order, I'll reframe the motion that we direct staff, Keizer City Council direct staff to apply for the economic development grant and work with the identified counselors that are willing to put it together.
Second accepts.
all right. Any further discussion? Counselor Cross?
I just want to make a note that as some people that again, as we were talking about our chamber not applying for this, is that as budget is coming up, we do give them money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
yeah.
No, but they have
Yeah.
I mean.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
It's
so-
Yes, and I do love our chamber too, but if there is opportunities for us to help as counselors, that's what we're here for.
Mr. Brown, where's this money coming from?
The county.
Is it all
Marion County.
It's all county money,
Yes,
for God's sake. God in heaven.
Yeah.
yes, so we love all of you at the chamber. Thank you,
We
Dan.
do, we love them all, but we're going for the money.
And can I, so before we vote, I have a clarifying question. That, if I remember correctly, to make the fryer thing happen, that's on a different pot of money.
Yeah.
Do you need us to direct you to like do that
I
or?
didn't think so.
I was going to do it already, but.
Great.
We're with you.
Bring the fryer home.
Bring the fryer
Fire
home.
home. I love it.
And then we're gonna sell the other fryer.
All right. Anything further? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. All right.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to suspend the rules to take up the matter of extending the meeting until 9:30.
Okay.
Need a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council suspend the rules and extend the meeting till 9:30. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, signify by saying no.
No,
I've got, motion passes 4-3. I believe the noes are
We'll probably get out here earlier.
Kyle, Duran, Cross, and Parsons. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be here that long.
Just let me know when we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to suspend the rules and bring up the item of the grant application from the City of Keizer's Multimodal Safety Committee to the Keizer Rotary Foundation.
What is this?
The what?
Say that
I
again?
talked to you about
Yes,
this.
oh, thank you. Wow, brain just went.
After 9.
Second, yes.
Wait, what is it? I don't understand.
I made a motion to suspend the rules to take up the issue of the City of Keizer's Multimodal Safety Committee's application to the Keizer Rotary Foundation.
Second.
Moved and seconded to suspend rules, take up the matter. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, signify by saying
Can't wait
no.
to hear what it is.
Motion passes unanimously. Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So today I was made aware that there is a grant application that was submitted to the Keizer Rotary Foundation, which is to be considered tomorrow morning at 7:00 in the morning. And the grant application was submitted on behalf of the City of Keizer's Multimodal Safety Committee. And it is for $500 for the bike helmet program. As the liaison to the Multimodal Safety Committee, I had heard that they were working on this, but to my knowledge, it hadn't come forward to the committee. I checked with Counselor Duran, who covered for me last week, to see if it had come forward to the committee, and he said it had not. I checked in with with City Manager Brown to see if he was aware that this grant application was being made, and he was not aware either. So I am bringing it forward because my understanding is somebody in the city should be aware that this grant request was submitted. I, as the liaison to the multimodal, was not aware it had been submitted.
Who submitted it?
I'm not gonna,
But
But I mean, the committee did it as a committee?
No, the committee did not, the committee did not submit it. Somebody submitted it on behalf of the committee, saying it was from the City of Keizer's
Oh, dear.
Multimodal Safety Committee.
Okay.
So.
Without their approval.
Got it.
Without it coming before the committee, City Manager Brown didn't know about it. So I'm here, on behalf of the Multimodal Safety Committee, asking for grace and understanding and asking the council to approve that $500 grant request. We will deal with the process issues separately and outside of this meeting. And then I have a part two to that request, in that we, as a council, put on, direct staff to bring back to the agenda some suggestions for the addendum A for each of the committees that prohibits the committees from seeking grant funds for any activity that do not come before the committee and do not come before the city council. So, items 1 and items 2.
All right, let's start with number 1. So a motion then to authorize the submission of the grant application to the Keizer Rotary Foundation for $500 worth of bicycle helmets. So need that motion. Okay, it's for deliberation. Looking for a motion.
So moved.
Looking for a second?
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council approve the grant application for the $500 helmet grant from Keizer Rotary. Councilor Duran.
You two are up there.
I would like to see the grant application.
Well,
The grant application is handwritten.
and it's not here.
And it's not here?
No,
No.
it's with Rotary.
I have
How am I
seen,
going to vote on something I can't see?
I have
don't know
seen
what
the
it is.
grant, I have seen the grant application. I am asking for the council to authorize the submission of the grant, and we take care of the process pieces behind it. Like,
That to me is a little bit beyond the process if we don't even know what we're approving.
we're asking, the grant application that was submitted is asking for $500 that would allow the city to purchase bike helmets. That is what the grant is asking for. My understanding is it went before the Rotary Board, and it was authorized to move forward to the Rotary Foundation Board.
I knew about this. You did? Yes.
So why didn't
Oh.
anybody else?
No, I did, all I knew was that it was gonna happen. I didn't know they wrote a grant on behalf of the
That's what I'm
city.
saying.
Oh.
We all, I think there
We all
was,
talked about it.
that it was going to happen.
Yes, that it was going to
And it
happen.
happened, but it never came before.
Okay.
Do you see what
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't-
saying?
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. I
Yeah.
just knew that they had submitted it to the Rotary Foundation to get helmets. What was the motion?
To authorize the submission of the grant,
The grant's already been submitted to the Rotary
But it's on-
Foundation.
but it's not been authorized by
But
the
it's not
city.
been authorized, right?
But it was submitted on behalf of the city without authorization of the city.
Correct.
So ask forgiveness later. Is that what we're doing?
That's pretty much what we're asking to do. Councilor Cross.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So Counselor Duran brought up a very good point. I do feel uncomfortable approving something that we have not seen. What would it hurt if we postpone this to the next council
Because
meeting?
it's tomorrow.
They won't write the check.
Okay, but what would it hurt if they waited till the next Rotary meeting?
I don't think it would hurt. They just couldn't buy the helmets.
For
I just
for
found
1
out,
month,
I just
right?
found out about it at about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, so I would say that I feel more comfortable if I saw it, so yes, they would have to
somebody
wait.
sees it.
But they still could still buy them in 30 days, so that was my
Do they
question.
do it every 30 days? How often?
No, they meet quarterly, I believe.
So, yeah.
So you can wait 90
Just-
days.
So they'd have to wait 90 days.
Which
Okay.
is, I think, part of the concern is
Summer.
the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
All right. So
Oh, so question.
I've got Councilor Kohler.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My understanding, the only thing in the grant is asking for $500 for bike helmets.
Correct.
Correct.
Check on microphones. Councilor Christopher.
So how are you gonna stop it? It's already half done. So
It's already been submitted.
It's already been submitted, but I did send a note today saying that this was not authorized to be submitted, so.
So could we say, because we're not seeing what the actual written document is, could we say, could we approve it in concept or?
I can read, do you want me to read it to you?
Oh, you got it?
I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
So please describe the program for which funds are requested. The Keizer Helmet Program provides education and equipment, helmets, to riders in the Keizer community. This program is ran by committee members, I've already corrected that, from a local neighborhood association and multimodal safety committee. This program has a long history of providing services for minimal cost and free education. Each helmet costs between an estimated $11 and $13. Every year, the committee strives to serve the need by having multiple events throughout the year. Currently, the Bike Helmets program has $451. 100 of those dollars were recently provided by the Southeast Keizer Neighborhood Association. Salem Health trauma nurses provided and purchased 72 helmets for the program for a total of $937.40. The person who submitted this grant says that they will personally plan to raise a matching $500 for the program and will try to attend one of their many events. And then there's a typed document that I don't know where it came from, City of Keizer Helmet Program 2026. It gives the history about the helmet program was started in 1997 by the Keizer City Council. Council approved a city ordinance requiring users to wear helmets in the parks. And it talks about, and then it lists the 2026 events, and then it includes the information from the website on the Multimodal Safety Committee and a listing of the members.
Okay. So what I would like to propose a substitute motion.
Okay.
That the Keizer City Council requests that the Keizer Rotary Foundation pause on this grant application until it can be put through proper channels through our processes for resubmission. That would be a substitute motion.
I don't know, you missed 90, I don't know.
We already have helmets.
That's what I was, can I just say something? They have 100 helmets right now in
Oh, they
storage.
do?
Yes.
Yeah.
And $450.
So you think we're okay for the summer?
We're okay probably for about 2 or 3 events, but I don't know. I mean, remember this, in September, October, they do it. The firehouse for the open house there in October, that's when they give a lot of helmets away too, so.
And I would say, yeah.
And Surf Fest,
Right.
And
but that's in
Surf Fest, yeah.
October.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm proposing a substitute motion to request the Keizer Rotary Foundation to put pause on this grant until it can go through through the city processes.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. So substitute, is there any objection to the substitute motion?
No.
All right. So we will vote on that motion instead.
Okay.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no.
No.
Motion passes 6-1, the no from Councilor Kohler. All right. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Councilor Kohler, I believe you have a walk-on tonight.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move we suspend the rules to,
Yes, Mr. Brown.
Did you want to get part 2 of your
Oh,
item, which was
oh,
the?
yeah,
yeah.
Part
This
two.
is the, yeah.
Thank you.
So, thank
fine,
you.
we'll suspend the suspending of the rules.
Thank you, City Manager Brown.
This is what happens to us after 9.
So I move
We fall apart.
I move that the Keizer City Council direct staff to bring back a process outlining how committees go about applying for grant funding.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council suspend the rules, take up the matter of directing staff to come back with direction to our committees regarding grants. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. So the motion, Councilor President Starr, is to direct staff?
Yes,
So-
I did make that motion.
Yeah, you just made the.
Suspending the rules.
Oh, I thought I did that in all-in-one. Okay. I
Maybe you
move,
did.
sorry. I thought it was an all-in-one, full meal deal. I move that the Keizer City Council direct staff to bring back a process outlining committee steps when they want to apply for a grant.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council direct staff to bring back a recommendation for language for our committees regarding grant applications. What she said, anyway. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passed unanimously. Counselor Kohler.
Hey, so, I make a
Last
motion to
time.
suspend the rules, to talk about a video script, for the volunteering video that the McNary High School has agreed to provide for us
Okay.
and produce.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules, take the matter of approval for the video script. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Go.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. The reason we need to make a motion to do this is because we have a timeline. We have students that are getting ready to get out of school. And if we can get the script approved now, then they can get this produced before the end of school. And we can start using the video script for recruiting volunteers to come help with the city. And so I'd like to make a motion to approve the scripts as written, and then we can talk about any modifications that we need to make in that, but approve the script as written in the final edit.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council approve the video script volunteering for the city of Keizer, Oregon, the student and final edits. Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Did this go through staff already? Because at the CDC meeting in March that I was covering at the time, I suggested that the script needed to be ran through staff.
I read it. I don't know if any people beyond myself read it, but
Didn't the VCC approve this?
that's what I'm hearing out.
But as far as the question was on staff.
But I suggested that when it came to CDC, that the script, before it's in its final draft, needs to be approved by staff.
But the staff can't?
For staff?
I can tell you, I've read it.
Oh, Tim.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's not here.
Did he approve it?
Well, he's here. He's actually working in his office. He just needed some dedicated time for budget. But I read through it when I received it.
So you
too.
approved it?
And I'm okay with the language.
Okay,
And so
that's
Tim.
what I was looking for.
Okay. Mayor?
Yes. Counselor Christopher.
So I love this script. I love it. I'm so excited that the two committees got together and did this. I have slight changes to scene 4, what happens next. So, and here they are. It currently reads, they meet regularly to review applicants. I would just like to change that to interview instead of review, and recommend volunteers to the city council. The way it's written, it says to the mayor and city council. It's like two processes. So if we just say recommend, rather than people, volunteers to city council, very slight, but I think important. And then the past host, then the next one is, you'll have 5 minutes. The last sentence reads, you will be put forward. I would like to change that to recommended to be appointed by the city council rather than approved. I'm just softening the language because really that's what happens. We take your recommendation and we appoint. And it doesn't sound like two processes. First you go to the mayor, then you go to city council. We'll just go to city council. That's it.
I like it. Anything else?
No, but great job, great job. I'm so excited about this.
All right.
So Mayor, I just think it's important that we do this and get it approved now so that we can actually get production done and get it,
I think
get it moving.
with those corrections, I'm good.
Counselor Duran.
Is there any cost to this?
No, and the students are doing it. It's just a win-win-win-win-win.
Student production. Okay, anything further?
Nope.
I was gonna say, this,
Jane, microphone.
yeah, thanks.
Tammy and I stayed so we could answer any questions. And I think it's important for y'all to know too that once this script is approved by you and it goes back to the students to produce the video, you will absolutely see the video before it can go any further too, because going from a medium of paper to video can be quite different. Yeah, so you will see the video also. So we really appreciate it if you would approve it, and I love those two updates, and thank you very much.
Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Who is responsible for making the edits that have been suggested tonight and carrying this project forward to the students?
We have them noted in our ELT meeting tomorrow. We'll go over that and make the assignment for the connection. That's how we can follow up with all the tasks.
Thank you.
Okay, and then typically, Dawn has been kind of managing this project, and she would send that updated revision version to the VCC and the CDEC, our two committees, and then we would be sending it. Typically, Robin has been communicating with Ashley, who is Gruber, who is the teacher over at McNary. So then we are just eager to get that final script over to this teacher so that her students can start that work. We can't promise that it'll even be finished by this school year, but we're hopeful and we appreciate you taking it up tonight. And thank you, Counselor Kohler, for your good suggestion of bringing it on. Is it 9:30? Thank you.
All right. So this would be, do we have the motion on the table? I've even forgotten. Okay. This be as amended.
Yeah.
So it has been amended by consensus with that change. Anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously.
Go make a video.
All right, that's how we do other business tonight. We're going to forego, is there anything urgent from staff that we need to hear about? And I think Mr. Cleaver probably has something to remind us that we need to get done by the 30th, don't we?
No, June.
Nope. April.
What? Are you talking about the performance eval?
Yes.
Oh, God. April 30th?
Yes.
Yes.
And a grant.
10 days.
I don't know how you read June. It's April.
All right.
Mr. Cleaver, anything that you want to make sure we know?
Other than that, no.
Okay, so get her done by April 30th, but otherwise he's gonna be calling you.
Okay.
Mr. Brown, anything else from staff tonight? Okay. Anything urgent from council? All right,
Go to Keizer Community Dinner on Wednesday.
Keizer Community Dinner on Wednesday. Do not miss dinner.
We'll be in Pendleton.
But we won't miss dinner.
I will not be in Pendleton. I will be here. I'll go to the dinner. I'll let you know how wonderful it is. And,
Good, help wash the dishes.
I'll be going to the Setcor Economic Summit while you guys are in Pendleton. All right, agenda input real quick. May 4th, we'll meet at 6 PM in regular session. May 11th and 12th will be budget, both evenings starting at 6 PM. Hopefully, we won't need the third night. And then Monday, May 18th, 6 PM.
Will not need a third night.
But we should not, absolutely, because we know who's going to be chairing. All right, the time is 9:28. We are adjourned.
Yeah, I told you we did.